You're good.
Good morning. It is 8:30 on Tuesday, July 29th. We are here for our consent agenda review / work session. Is Rob online with us?
I did want to clarify for item number 9, last week, the commissioner signed reappointment letters for the homeless housing task force, but I put the wrong name for the Renew representative. It switched from Diana Ruiz to Le'Veon Barnes. So you guys appointed the wrong person, my bad. So number 9 is a request to reappoint the correct Renew employee and rescind the appointment letter for the incorrect one.
Okay, I think we did talk about HR, about doing all the, updating the job descriptions as well, and that was part of an increase. For the compensations connections contract. Okay, Kevin, on number 12, the maximum speed limits, I was looking at that. I think they're just going by mile markers. There's some correction. I don't think we have a increase or decrease. I think I had a question. It sounded like it was just a mile marker.
Like she's put in all the streets and
Yeah, we've had that, and I think it was for mile markers or something. I'm not.
Excuse me.
Question is on this, are they planning on changing all these to 25 miles an hour?
No, those would already be, see, this is my question. I believe we're not doing any speed limit changes. I think we're just, I don't know, we need to ask. I was just wondering if I think they're just changing it to the mile marker or doing something differently.
Because it doesn't make sense, because a lot of these are 25 miles an hour from what I'm seeing. And a lot of the
Yeah, no, we have to have a hearing.
are speeds.
Typically, we have to have a hearing if we're gonna do speed limit changes.
This is a resolution notice of hearing.
Okay. And then just to follow up, Dora said the planning commissions, they do receive mileage. They don't receive compensation for time in review material or attendance.
So Caitlin, do you know if their plans are to change all these speed limits to 25? Like, I'm looking at the speed.
No,
So, Exhibit A speed limit ordinance, August
Let me see.
2025, and the speeds on the right-hand side, some of them are 20, some of them are now changing to 25, because a lot of those were 35.
couldn't tell you.
So that could
Public
be-
Works
is
is
that the-
next, so.
Potato Hill Road is changing to 25.
Historically, if they're underlined, they're an addition. If it's a strike through, it's a take out. So if they're underlined, then it's probably an addition. And then if it's a strike through and the 25, and then potentially the road has been moved to the 35 mile an hour section, so vice versa, it could be. So
You want to come and look at this?
Sure.
Because it doesn't, I mean, to me, it makes it look like they're just changing these speed limits to 25. Or that's the speed limit that they're going to be based on this new speed limit ordinance.
that could be that they're not changing anything in this section, so. Do you see any
Well,
underlines in the strike?
If you look at Potato Hill Road South, Desert View Drive,
Yeah, that means nothing's changing there. So scroll all the way, oh, that's 169 pages. Scroll up to the very top. Can you scroll to page 1, the resolution? That's the next page.
For changes along with new subdivisions. Or they're adding the,
what we were just looking
Yeah,
at.
so they've included the entire speed limit section of the code. So they would be underlining sections that they're adding and strike throughs of changes that they're making. So you should, in essence, be able to scroll through the ordinance block that they're presenting to you to find sections that are.
I did not see any, so I think that was my,
Was this one where they were just changing the layout of it?
it could possibly
That
be.
doesn't make sense
but-
because a lot of these, like out in Potato Hill Road, Cascade Valley,
Yeah.
a lot of those streets are 35 miles an hour unless otherwise posted at 25. But
Yeah.
now it looks like they're going to be 25.
Oh, man.
We can ask.
Definitely, yes. They may be rescinding the entire speed limit ordinance and replacing it with this brand new one.
That's what it appears to me. No, I mean, I don't care, just, I just want to know that that's
Yes.
what I'm looking at. But I guarantee you, nobody's gonna go by these speed limits.
No. Don't go by them now.
Right.
Well, I mean, to get to my buddy's house, you have to go through a field. I mean, zigzag. I go 45, I think there. Says 35, I think. Black, something addition out there.
I'm okay with slowing people down, that's no problem with that.
No, it's a good thing. Hmm.
It's funny here listening to the keyboards. Cindy, your keyboard is louder than Caitlin's. Not on the
And
recording.
I asked for,
Yeah.
because I felt like my other one was super noisy. Maybe I'm the one that's,
Do you want me to order you a quiet keyboard?
I'd love one.
Quiet.
It would be, I mean, I could get you one. It
Did I
would
order
just
one?
like
I thought I
this.
ordered it, or did I borrow somebody? I can't remember if we ordered this. I think we ended up ordering this one.
We have a quiet keyboard upstairs, but it's like it's the ergonomic split
Okay.
keyboard. If you like those, we have one. It's also pink.
Pink.
Want more of a peachy color.
I probably should stick with a professional, black.
I just go out on a limb, Cindy. It's
Trying to
okay.
up my game here. After having our training, if you look and act, I probably don't act professional. If you look professional, people take you more serious.
It's true.
Is that what it is?
That's a
My
fact.
mint colored keyboard upstairs brings me a lot of joy.
A little
so-
joy. You'll find that on the training, you'll be going through your office going, I'm gonna G-show stuff that does not look, I need to clean mine out here.
I'd say that they're just changing the whole, everything as far as the speed limit.
So they didn't provide any track changes on what was done for you guys.
It could just be, yeah,
No, I
that
just
was my
know-
question we need to.
I just know that some of these areas, the speed limit currently is not what it is on this, which is fine.
Mhm.
Excuse me.
I like
There's
the
that
way when you
cough.
get off Highway 28, it says 50 miles an hour going into Stratford. And then as soon as you get to the power station there, it goes to 25 or something. It's like, wow, you want to go 50 already, huh? That's like going 50 before you hit this train tracks now on the new part. You gotta really get on it.
I will say Public Works did a great job on that. Those culverts out there, it's way better.
Does, they're not done yet, are they? Or they're putting up the guardrail now or something?
Yeah, I think they're putting up the guardrails now,
I saw part of them going, I didn't look at it that close.
looks like it's gonna
Be complete pretty quick.
be really nice.
It should be. I didn't mind the hoop-de-doos.
It should be just about done with that road, I think.
All the way to 20?
Yeah.
So,
Right.
sorry, the original email from Barb O'Neill back in June about this update is that it was a big update to the ordinance to include changes of speed limits as well as the layout of the table. She said you will notice that I do not list out changes separately. There were lots of errors in the old ordinance, typos, incorrect names, locations, incorrect road logs. We have completely changed the table to include mileposts, so every line is a change.
Okay.
So it looks like they had included like Potato Hill Road, the Potato Hill speed limit, it looks like that was changed, and West Shore was attached also.
Yeah.
And then it looks like they double checked all the golf cart areas, including Blue Lake, which had that hearing not too long ago, so it sounds like the entire thing is,
It's all new.
yep. And she said,
That makes sense.
yes, she said, human nature will direct the curious to look for their street within the table. So, and I'll be real, I definitely did. And then I found out myself county roads.
Okay, thank you for clarifying that.
There'll be a lot of happy people. Well, I wouldn't say a lot of happy people up Patidio Road, but some happy people up Patidio Road.
We'll hear about it.
You'll never make them all happy.
Yeah, we will. That's our job.
You're gonna make them all happy?
All of them, every single
God,
one.
I can't wait till you get to me.
Okay, are there any other?
I didn't see anything else.
I just
Okay.
wanted to remind the commissioners that there is that walk-on from Tom. We got the hard copy right on top, in case you wanted to look at that any closer.
So the walk-on is they respectfully request a signature on a GMP amendment, which adds the new roundabout to the new jail, increases at 136,000 and some change. So the value of the amendment is 2.5 million and some change. I think that's it. I don't.
Or did you?
I have for walk on, I mean, not walk on, a round table. Are we ready?
Yep.
Okay. After talking with Caitlin yesterday, her and I both looked through Laserfish, and we discovered that in past years, Board of Equalization stuff was brought before the county commissioners. So we are going to work with the board this Thursday when we meet with them to talk about the processes and bring that back forward to the board as a recommendation. I also talked to Blair, and he wants to talk to HR about what the volunteer board should and should not do, along with the paid voluntary. So he wants to work with HR on that, and then we'll make a recommendation
As
to
far
the
as the
board.
training.
Correct.
Yeah, because I'm wondering if they're not getting paid, then they're not truly employees, but, well, and I guess I was taken by surprise because technically, everything goes through the PMRT. So all of a sudden to have a board that is just, gives themselves a, I guess, a stipend or an hourly rate. I don't even know what the hourly rate was to not go through PMRT because every hour changed.
They're printed stuff out, what they have done. Back on April of '24, the board approved they were getting paid $100 a day and then moved to an hourly salary of $25 an hour. That was approved in April of last year.
Right.
Okay, I didn't really, I thought they just had a day, like $150 a day.
That was,
Okay.
Yeah, well, I think we changed that because there was times when we don't have one or two,
Oh, okay.
hearings, and then we were getting paid $150 and we're only here for a couple hours, so.
then the days when there's 10 hearings, it was below minimum wage, so that's where they wanted to
Right.
do that. And that was approved by the board.
That one was done on consent, not through PMRT. So I don't know if that's.
Well, and I'm wondering next time we probably should bring that through PMRT because we as commissioners have bypassed PMRT and we've,
Got trouble for it.
Yeah.
Is that something that the commissioners would decide, or is that something that we need to ask Decorah?
If it
Go through
goes through
PMRT.
PMRT.
Yeah.
Well, I would say it needs to go through PMRT because everybody else has to go through PMRT for a change. So I would think that
should at
We
least
have to-
let them in.
we have to follow that.
Is it not PMRT anymore? It's just PMR?
Is it just PMR, or is it still PMRT? I've definitely just been listing it as,
PMR.
the T stands for team, like position management review team. Is it still a team, or is it?
PMR,
more
we're
like
still a team. We've got quite
group?
the team. So
I
it needs
thought
to go
that
in front of
she-
that committee, that team, because we ask everybody else to. So for us to bypass, I don't think it looks good.
Okay.
It is one of our boards that we appoint.
Okay, just want to let you know that we will be bringing this forth to the BOE on Thursday. Okay, that was it. I just wanted to bring that to your attention.
Did you say that they did policies and procedures manual as well?
They signed policies and procedures that Caitlin drafted, like she did the tourism advisory and all of them. She's been doing great about that, so. Getting everyone on the same page for volunteer boards.
Well, thanks for looping Blair in for the volunteer.
Yeah, you
board
betcha.
training.
And I'll talk to HR too about the PMR, confirm how she wants us to proceed with getting her the information.
Okay,
Okay.
sounds good. That is it, it's 8:50 and we are in recess until 9 o'clock. I'm trusting you, Kevin. 9 o'clock when we have the public works update.
You are on.
Good morning, it is 9 o'clock. We are here with Public Works for their weekly update.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We'd like to start this morning with our accomplishment updates by James.
Yep. So last week, chip seal area, we will be finishing up chip seal in District 3 today. So then they're gonna move to West Shore, or not West Shore, Potato Hill Road, and they'll be finished that tomorrow. And then we should be done with our chip seal area until we get Stratford. The litter crew, they had picked up 2,600 tons received, 163 tires, a bunch of refrigerators. They did go down to Mattawa and did,
That complaint that you guys received about litter in Mattawa, they actually found roughly 50 illegal dumps. Some as small as,
50, okay.
yeah, some as small as just 2 tires, but
Oh,
still, they got all the illegal dumps cleaned up in about 2.5 days. They didn't do any roadside stuff. They haven't gotten to that yet, but
well, at least they cleaned up those illegal dumps. That's a good
Did they just
start.
drive around and find them or they?
no, I don't know if it was Jason or one of our foremen.
Oh,
They
okay.
went down and they marked every one of them so they could just pick them up
Okay.
and come back with them. That's probably why they got it done in 2.5 days. But he said he drove every road and
Is there a way for the public to drop you a line or give you
Oh, they usually do.
we get a lot of phone calls.
so they tell you where they're at?
Yeah, tell us where they're at.
That
And
makes-
we, and we know our problem areas.
Sure,
So,
probably the same areas.
yeah.
Assuming.
And what our foremen are doing, because both of the people on the litter crew are from the Moses Lake area, like they find one in Royal, they've been using their phone and dropping a pin.
Right.
And then we have one phone that the county bought for the litter crew. They're able to send that pin to that phone. They can drive right to it, not knowing the roads, and it seems to be working pretty well.
Yeah, that'll save a lot of time.
They're still continuing on blading. They did 244 miles between all the areas, blading, 522 miles of rock raking, 21 and a half miles of seal coat last week too. The other thing, like I said, on West Shore, Dave has given out 10 sign permits so far for the right-of-way permits to work on the right-of-way. He's going back out today, I believe. He's been trying to do 4 or 5 a day, or Tuesdays and Thursdays. So
What's been the attitude of the people so far?
so far so good, but I think they started at the north end and they're working way back to the south end. So
Get the easy ones first.
yeah,
There's been 2 that asked to think about it, so we haven't gotten the results on those, but
That's all right.
but they're still working on the Stratford project. They've had problems with soft spots in the road, and so they're working through those. They should be done with that this week, and then continuing on that process. And then the Stratford pipes, they've got it all dug out, filled back in. We are getting it to level with the grader today, so they can start asphalting it, and then we'll chip seal over it probably next week or when we get the Stratford job done.
Yeah, like I say, it was looking good.
Yeah.
I was impressed.
well, and on those pipes, we weren't real sure how deep we'd be able to dig, but I spoke to Tim Massey yesterday and he said between all of them, they were able to dig all the way to the CDF that was on the bottom. So we're hopeful that this will fix it. We're hopeful that this is going to fix it.
Oh, I think it will, I mean, looking at the fill that you put in there.
And he said the material was so wet that they took out, it just was an incorrect material. So, we've got base course and stuff in there now. So,
Yep. This week?
you know, in Potato Hill, James was telling me this morning, they're gonna use a different oil, one that can be brewed.
We do the HFE 90, it just cures a little faster, and if they shoot it tomorrow, we should be able to broom it on Monday.
Oh, good.
So that way we can get that done. We'll keep an eye on it throughout the week too, and probably the weekend, and make sure it doesn't bleed, and maybe try to throw some water on there, keep it dusted as well. So sure, people will call on that.
I don't think it's a very busy weekend out there with the sand in, so that's good.
We're trying to hit that in between the 4th and the holiday that's in September.
Yeah.
And Kat's working on the restriping. Some of the things that we're considering doing are not yet in the MUTCD, so we will need Dave's approval in order to stripe that way, but she's working on that.
Any questions? Other questions?
No, it sounds like you guys were a little busy.
Thanks for picking up that stuff in Mattawa.
You know, they started out in Mattawa. I don't remember what road it was, but Jason said it was really bad. And they hauled for about a week almost off that one road. So we'll keep up on it. I think once they get through everything, it'll be better, but we did find finally that Department of Ecology litter, they sent us some recommendations for the pinchers and they were great. So finally they've gotten some pinchers.
Like the
there.
Disneyland.
Yep, and they're not real long, so they can put the garbage in the bag and not handle it at all. But they're working really well.
Good.
So
Be nice if we could have some game cameras down there and catch who's ever dumping down there. Stop that problem.
yeah, I agree. So is there any other questions on those?
No.
The next thing we had was a request by the board to discuss the replacement of 619.
Our car.
Yep.
Yes, well, I think the ultimate discussion, our car needs to go that's here, is
Oh.
that we did get a list of the vehicles and the usage of them. If we need to maybe look at our county pool, how we do that. Kind of instead of giving cars to each department, so maybe it's the assessor's car today, but tomorrow maybe it's the treasurer's car, and check them out. So
There's a couple of different programs out there. Actually, basically, there's really only one. I'm kind of, Benton County is just started implementing it, so I'm kind of letting them sort of do the beta testing for me to see whether or not it's something that would work. But yeah, what it is, it's basically a setup. The key is in the car, locked in a box in the car, and you reserve the car through an app. Then you go up to the car, you can unlock the phone with the app, unlock the car with the app,
okay,
get the key, do it, and it charges out the time. So you can actually reserve the car so it doesn't get double booked and that kind of stuff. So we have a fleet manager meeting every fall. I'll talk to him and see how he'll be about a year into it, see how that's working out for him. So, but that's something we really need to look at doing because we do have a lot of underutilized vehicles. So.
And Yakima County is doing something similar to that, and what was it, one pickup, just in case somebody even needed a pickup, and 2 or 3 vehicles. They weren't using the app or anything, but you could reserve them, and then your department just got billed. They were basically motor pool cars that
Right.
everybody could use.
And that system there, they're no longer adding people to it. They're maintaining it for them, but yeah, so. But it's weird, they're not US-based companies. This is like, the one that Benton County is using, I think is like a Dutch company.
mhm.
And the one that Yakima is using is Australian. But they're not doing it anymore. they're letting them maintain what they have. But yeah, we need to look at doing something like that because there are departments like, prosecutors and stuff like that only need a car on occasion. So,
Yeah, if we have a lot of extra cars that's sitting around that aren't being used, there's no sense in having them on our books.
For some of the departments, it's a substantial cost. And,
Well,
frankly.
it will be, yeah. It will even for the
Yeah.
commissioner's
Well,
office, so we're like, oh.
And when you're looking at, when you're looking at an average usage of some of them less than 6,000 miles a year, that's not a lot of usage, so. 10,000 is kind of the breaking point. Anything under 10,000, we're just charging flat rate. Over 10,000, we charge mileage
Mhm.
and it, works out better. That's kind of where the sweet spot is, so, all we can do is recommend.
Well, I
manage
think we
the
need to
road.
do something differently.
Yeah,
I
So, as much as I would like to have a new car just for the commissioner's office, I think we need to forego that. Probably sell our car that's not always trustworthy or we have issues with. And really look at just combining.
Yeah.
That would be a great topic for the
for our budget time.
elected official department head luncheon. So maybe we could put that on there just as maybe a
Discussion?
discussion
topic?
item.
Okay.
Mhm.
And what we would do going into a program like that is I would buy new SUVs and that's what they would be for. And so then it wouldn't, nobody can complain that there was an old car or something like that. They would be nice cars. The Yakima County had the pickup, it hasn't been used a lot. They haven't found too much. The SUVs seem to be the better way to go. So, and I want to buy hybrids because I think we need to get some hybrids in our fleet. State of Washington is, pushing more and more to electrification. Hopefully hybrids will kind of hold them back a little bit. So, because I think
Yeah, I
it
don't
is,
think we're,
Not
I
ready
think it was
for
by
electric.
2030. I think we have a little leeway, I'm hoping.
I think there's a little more realization maybe for
Yeah.
hopefully some elected officials that these rural counties, electric
Sounds like a
cars
great idea, but-
electric cars are not a great idea, but hybrids would be,
Hybrids is a good compromise.
yeah.
Yep.
So I'm buying it. I bought one for Public Works. I'm buying another one next year for Development Services for their inspector, a Maverick hybrid. I say other ones trying to get as many, get some more in the fleet. So, but yeah, I'll let you know
Yeah, I
how
think
Benton
that's
Counties is working out and if that looks.
probably the direction we need to go because that,
I
I think
agree.
we'll have a $20,000 hit. And we did talk to Michelle that on elections, she can run that through what she uses the van for in elections, but it sounds like we have other offices and departments that it's just gonna be a big expense if we can curtail that. We need to.
And we're open to buying 3 SUVs and managing them, just for this purpose. We agree that that's a good idea for Grant County.
And Missy does have, I think she just ordered 2 Jeeps. Those are a little pricey.
Broncos, full-size Broncos, yeah.
But she needs something with the clearance.
They're on
I
order.
can see where the SUVs are the way to go, and especially in the wintertime, for people that are out driving around, especially the assessor's office. If they're out doing inspections in the winter, they should have an SUV.
And it helps us on the back end too, when we go to surplus it, an all-wheel drive SUV is worth so much more money.
Right. They hold their value.
So, depends, but we get, the request has been, I know Barb was, talking like a Toyota RAV4. Yeah, Toyotas are touchy because Toyota doesn't care about fleet. They don't need fleet customers, so they might be open for a week if you're lucky, and sometimes they limit how many orders they'll take, so, but I can get Hondas too, Honda CRVs, so I have options.
Well, I feel that we should hold off on that replacement. We have some others that we can use, kind of merge everything.
I would agree.
I just wanted to ask for clarification. We do still have the 3 outstanding invoices from Public Works for the ER&R fees. And they're large enough bills that they would need to go on consent, but is it the commissioner's desire that we pay those invoices now, or are you wanting us to hold off on that until, I don't know if there's like a due date for those invoices?
Which ones do we have? We have
You have the van, you have the 619, what's the other one?
We have the mailroom car, that's, I
Oh,
think
that's-
it's Escape. I
Is
don't remember
that-
the number of it, because we have
Yeah,
680,
the-
619.
The
and then-
little Ford Edge?
Yes, that's it. I think it's 630. I think it's.
Why don't you guys just purchase that? Instead of keeping it in ER&R, there's no reason to have it in ER&R. It gets so few miles on it.
Because
Why don't you just purchase it from ER&R and then it's just yours?
okay.
And so if there's
you
any
can still
work
use the
done,
central shop.
yeah, if there's any work done to it, we do the work, we just invoice you for the work.
Yeah.
There's no reason for you to be paying a rental rate on that
Okay.
car.
So
That
we,
gets, 2 miles a week.
Yeah, exactly.
so we need to, I think that's a great idea. So
Yeah.
No, I agree.
do we
Yeah, I
write
agree.
You can even still get fuel from ER&R.
Oh, yeah.
We'll just bill you
Yeah,
for
we'll
that.
we'll create another number for it. We'll create a new number. And so that way it's a non-ER&R number. But yeah, you can
So
still
what would be the cost of the vehicle that we need to purchase?
let me get you a number. It's not. I'm gonna say off the top, $3,000.
Okay, more cheaper than 10. Okay, so the 619,
You wanna
I think we
turn
should
it in?
just turn it in.
Bring it
I need
up.
a second vote.
Yeah.
And then the van, we'll keep the van, we'll split that right now. But I really do think sooner than later, this year, we need to do consolidate everything.
Okay. Let me see what I
So
can-
the
let me see what I
619,
can
we
come
do use that vehicle, I think. It gets checked out occasionally.
Occasionally, but it's not reliable enough for us to consistently tell people that it's a good idea to borrow it. I mean, there've been multiple times.
You can take
where-
the van. It'll be cheaper for us to have the van.
But Cindy, we just bought that hybrid Maverick and it has a nice cover on the back for the little bed. We
Okay,
have the limo. I mean, there's other vehicles.
okay.
So,
Yeah, because I mean, when we have the escape up at Public Works too, I
Yeah.
mean, we are another
Okay.
resource that if somebody's,
Okay,
Yeah,
so
let's do that.
Kevin, are you in agreement with getting rid
Yeah,
of
no,
the
I-
619?
yeah.
And then the van, we'll probably just pay half of it. We can pay half of it and then Michelle can pay half of it. So
Okay.
we'll split that.
So is that something I would get in touch with Shiloh and she would split that?
Yeah.
Okay. And then when it comes to returning 619 to Public Works, is that something that goes on consent, or is that something I just email you guys and you make that happen?
you just bring it up.
Just bring it up,
Yeah,
okay.
just an email that you're turning the car in and
Where's the keys at?
bring it up with all the keys
it
and,
wouldn't be like the surplus list.
well, there will when I surplus it,
Oh.
when I go to surplus, but for them to just turn it in, no, just bring me the keys with an email that you're doing that and the rental will stop.
We'll give it to you
You guys,
right
yeah,
now.
so if you guys wanna.
Take it with
swing
us?
to our
We'll take it for a
office-
little road, yeah.
Sure,
Okay.
sure,
Get that
I'll do
guy.
it.
Barb's listening, so
Okay.
I'm sure she'll know that you're
Yep.
coming.
Okay, and
And
then
then,
let us know on the Ford Edge and then we'll take that out.
Yeah, let me take a look. I'm spitballing at 3,000, but
I
let
can,
me take a look and see what it comes up for.
Okay.
And,
And that's the one that gets used for mail.
yeah.
Yeah.
You
I'll,
want me to just email you with the dollar amount?
sounds good.
for the
Yeah,
Edge?
And
Okay.
then we'll put that on consent, just so there's an official decision from the commissioners. That sounds good with you guys? Okay.
And like I said, always keep in mind, we have vehicles. Check with us.
Well, we will.
I
It sounds like you're cheaper to
Well,
rent. than we
I
are.
just, I want this stuff to get used and, so,
I just drive my own.
I'm hoping, my hope is that the other departments are taking I've provided all the departments with their average annual miles on their vehicles. I hope some of them are taking a hard look at that.
So I think that's something we need to talk about.
Yeah, it could be a,
They may need just a little push.
well,
yeah, so I
when-
see the cost of it, but I don't see how many I thought I saw somewhere, or maybe we talked about it, I wrote it down, how many vehicles that some of them have.
How many motor pool vehicles? we
Yeah.
have? Right around 50.
Well, and some of them have, some departments have quite a few that don't have a lot of mileage on them.
You know, I think the last meeting, they were just talking about the juvenile department has a few that don't hardly even get used.
Mhm.
They're not using anything. don't need to have them out there sitting.
Well, we had a few ourselves that were under 10,000. We took a really hard look at them. Can I justify having this vehicle if it gets less than 10,000 miles a year? And one of the changes we made, that Maverick replaced a car. We don't really use a car that much. Now this Maverick is multi-use. It's all-wheel drive. It has a little bed. They can use it for inspections, that, you know, so that was the idea. Hopefully we can get those miles up, and hopefully other departments will check them out.
Mhm.
So,
And we're kind of recommending that they use that because it's a hybrid, so it gets better mileage. So like running down to the courthouse, it's on battery half the time.
Right.
You know, just kind of makes sense, so, but,
Well,
yeah,
if you don't mind getting us a list of all the carpool vehicles and the mileage, it'd be nice. I'll bet we could do a little thinning
Okay.
as well.
I will
can
email it,
compel
I'll
some of our
email it to
departments.
Caitlin and she can, well, hopefully I can work on that. My computer, my hard drive's crashing in my
Oh,
computer.
no.
So
Maybe.
Luke's up working on it. So, but yeah, I will, so, yeah, I'll get you that with motorable vehicles, current mileage and average annual mileage.
Mhm. Okay,
And
that
I'll
would be a
send
big
that,
help.
send that to you, so, because there are some more recommendations we could definitely make.
Okay, and then we can reach out to each department head or elected official and visit with them about it.
Doesn't hurt to ask why.
Sometimes it's always been that way and we just leave it like it is, so.
Well, and they got it, and could do it because our rental rates were so low.
But now
Big-
it's,
Big hit to the department, but then it's like, you know, we're either keeping the cars forever, way past their useful life, you know, or they have to come up with a big chunk of money out of their budget to replace the car. It's like, that's not properly managing the R.
I would agree.
We will be pure inspiration when we reach out to those around us with the.
We'll do it with a smile on our face.
that luncheon might be fun.
Yeah, give me a couple of days, but it depends
Okay.
on how it goes, but I'll have it to you, I'll get it to
Thank
you as
you.
quick as I can, so.
Okay.
Commissioners, would you be all right with either Barbara or I sending an all Grant County email, just letting people know that we no longer have vehicle 619 to rent or check out or anything that's with Public Works?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll get that sent out.
Thank you.
I'm emailing Shiloh right now. I've got Andy and John and Barb included on the email.
Beauty of Caitlin, we make a decision and Caitlin's just on top of it. Communication.
Keeps us all
You're gonna
straight.
get an email pretty quick.
An email would be great. Yeah, by the time you guys leave, we'll be getting phone calls.
No, like I said, we are supportive of when we get to the point where people have reduced enough that we need to add 2 or 3 SUVs that are strictly for that, we're supportive of that. We can 10, 12 cars out and replace them with 2 or 3 that get used. So,
And Public Works is led by example. We surplus 20 pieces of equipment last year. They were just, they didn't get enough and just didn't get enough usage to justify owning them. And, you know, the equipment's expensive.
Well, how do
And
we
so
do
we
on the-
surplused,
A lot of stuff. How do we do on the chip spreaders and those that we surplused?
haven't surplused them yet.
Okay.
They will, I'm not surplusing, I got a distributor and 2 chip boxes of surplus, but we're not gonna do it until after the last oil is shot.
Okay, just make sure.
We're just hanging on to them for the seasons, which was a good thing we did because we had struggles
Okay.
with new equipment, so it was a good thing. But no, they will be going out the door. You haven't talked to Adams County yet?
No, I haven't talked to them, if they're still interested or not.
Did the new chip sealer get repaired? Is it working right now?
That's where they're holding on to them.
Yeah,
It's working?
the back ends are working good, but both of them had transmission controller problems.
Oh,
So
On the
once they're done
distributor
shooting oil, we'll send one distributor over, get it straightened out, come back, and we'll send the other. So probably won't send the big distributor until Stratford Road is done. So, but
makes sense.
yeah, it was, kudos to them. They did a good job considering they were jumping equipment around, but boy, they still,
We still got it done.
still the timeline
Timely
you
manner,
figured
yeah.
out, so,
Yeah.
yeah.
well, that's another equipment reduction we've had in the past, 3 distributors, 3 chip boxes. We're going to 2. most of it is that big chip seal crew we're doing. That's almost $1 million worth of equipment, isn't it? Big distributor and a
Oh, yeah.
chip spreader.
Oh, yeah.
You guys are covering some ground.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
So,
quite an operation.
Yeah, we went from 4 rollers to 2 rollers, you know, went from 5 backhoes to 3 backhoes. So we led by example, I think, so.
That's good. I've got a couple Sunland Estates, we got an email. There is speeding going down there, and I did visit with the sheriff about that. So we have the signs there, but apparently they must have been downloading information. They were parked there, and they're like, the signage is not helping. You know, they can see it, and they're still, so. He said Gary Mansfield said they're gearing up for watershed, so there will be officers down there the entire time. Well, not the entire time, but there will be a lot of coverage down there. And K Road, I got a text, K Road between South Frontage and Road 4. It's a disaster.
I talked to Rusty this morning. They're gonna, as soon as today, they're getting done early, they were gonna go start working on it.
Okay. And then K Road, Morel City between Road 11 and Road 12. That was one of the cost share ones we were gonna do cost share, and then Dave was working on what is it? Like a cost share, but it would be,
Oh, where they pay for it?
yeah. Well, apparently is it Royal Organics or Royal Composting? They got a significant grant, and so they have some community improvement funds that they can use. So they would like to use to get that road paved. And I think we were gonna do 12. Sam had, before he left, talked about doing Road 12. Finishing Road 12, there's about a mile that ties into K Road, and finishing that, but without anyway, so it's all reds on that
Okay.
Royal Dairy. That, I believe it was a $20 million grant they had, so they have funding to help with some
Oh.
other issues. And then Road I, it was on the list to get paved, kind of when K Road was the seed covered nursery, that segment. They've been told it was gonna be this year, next year, and it's like it just keeps getting kicked down the road, so. I did not have a great answer for her. I'm like, every time we look, it's just
Who was that?
Lisa Villegas. On that high, but yeah, it was supposed to be, I think, pre-COVID, and it was like, okay, it'll happen afterwards, because we had K-12 and K, and then I, and then just got taken off the list, money was sent back.
Was it
That was not a cost share, that was actually just on that gravel to
gravel
oil,
oil?
and I think we got rid of the gravel to oil program. Let's just say I'm a real celebrity in my neighborhood with the roads not getting done. Trust me, not intentional, had nothing to do with that one.
Well, and our, one of our friends at West Shore called again, so I'm trying to meet with
Lisa?
her. Mhm.
Okay. This
week. I want to meet with her in person, and then I don't know what else to tell her.
Sometimes you just tell her, like, just do what you think you need to do.
So you'll probably be hearing about it, Cindy, but I called her yesterday. She called me right before I went on vacation, and I told her I'd call her when I got back. And I do want to meet with her in person. She feels a little bit ignored, and but even on the phone, I explained to her the dog wire, all of her complaints. We already went over them, but it's okay. She doesn't feel heard, so I'll give it one more try.
Yeah.
Hopefully this week. So to give you a heads up.
Sometime in person's better.
Yeah. And, especially when she said she felt ignored, and, I'm gonna give it a shot. We'll see.
Well, you can only do what you can do.
Yeah.
I mean, she still wants to be the way she is, and that's all you can do.
I just knew I probably wouldn't be in the car when you'd be hearing from her, so giving you a heads up.
All right, well, thank you for going out and visiting with her.
Do you guys have anything else? We got a minute.
Well, looks like I laid out quite a few.
We got a lot done this morning in a half an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Okay.
got rid of a car and everything. Don't forget the car.
John's
picking it up.
John's driving it.
He's gonna hot
We
rod
heard
it.
it's kind of rough from
Less
Caitlin.
miles,
We're gonna
less
put John
by the
in
time
it.
you get up
There you
there.
go. Barb knows you guys are coming, so.
Okay,
Okay.
it's 9:29. We are in recess until 9:30.
Get that one.
Good morning. It is 9:31. We are here with the Sheriff's Office for our weekly update.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you guys today? Good. So I'm gonna start off with a thing that wasn't on my list right now because I had it real quick. So our drug task force came and approached me last week or late the week before about a suggestion that they had, actually came from the team as well as Washington State Patrol, of a concern that they had as far as the drug task force landing in our new building when it's completed. Their concern and their worry, which is valid, that their vehicles will start being able to be pegged what they're driving as they're working in the community during a lot of clandestine type operations. So they actually came up with an idea in a partnership with vacate our leased building that we're in now, and when we transition over to the new facility. The nice thing about it is, as far as the cost goes for the lease, State Patrol said they'd be more than willing to absorb the entire cost for moving over there for the cost of the lease. We would just send the billing, as we currently bill them right now for the detectives that they have, so it would be just upping the cost of their, basically the State Patrol's cost of their paying for office space for the sheriff's office. So that is something we're looking into, not necessarily haven't made a for sure decision yet, but we're definitely looking into to see what the ins and outs of it would be as far as the move goes. So we're kind of exploring that right now. We kicked off our Gallup survey first meeting today with Gallup. Talked about what it would look like to basically kind of go through the program and creating our first survey for our employees. We're looking at going to the 12 question employee, what's the word they have for checking?
Q12.
The Q12 employee
Oh, engagement survey.
engagement, there you go, the employee engagement survey. So they're basically 12 questions that are created by Gallup, and that's the direction we're going to go first to get it started. So today was kind of step one into our process, and we hope to have that going by the beginning of October. And by the sound of them, we may be able to do it even by September. So we may luck out and be able to do that. So we're pretty excited about being able to get Gallup kicked off for the future of the organization. So pretty exciting. We did get some return back. Our RFP closed for the medical services over the jail yesterday. We did get 2 packets in. One was from a pharmaceutical company, so I'm not really sure what that will actually entail as far as their services go, or how many boxes they're able to check on the RFP itself to be able to provide us on the needs that we sent that we would need. So I'm not sure what that's going to look like. We'll open those probably in the next day or so. But we got one from the pharmaceutical company and then one from a provider that does provide the actual 24-hour medical coverage that we're looking for. So we should have those, start opening them up either today or tomorrow to look and see how those are. So that is our update on our RFP. I wanted to give you some information of our crime reduction team has now been working for a year. As of right now, we've been able to hold a team of 3. Once we're all full staff-wise, they will be a team of 5. That's once we get all of our vacancies filled. But just to give you some insight of how things have been going, this is literally just a snapshot, just a snippet. These are the things that I was really hoping they were going to focus on as far as the team went, which mostly is like our rural theft and burglary issues that we just had to get dealt with. So overall, over the past year, our overall calls for service have gone down actually 1,000 calls for service. So 6.6% has been reduced since our crime reduction team has been in play. But the really good ones that stuck out to me that are actually really impressive, quite frankly. So statistically, our attempted theft of property out in the community has gone down 68%. The residential burglaries that we've had have gone down 42%. Theft of gas, which also covers theft of diesel in our rural farming communities, have gone down 65%. Theft of property from motor vehicles, like vehicle prowls and things like that that are taken from inside of cars, has gone down 45%. Theft of vehicles is down 25%. And this is one that really excited me pretty good, was the theft of wire. That's down 60%. So again, that's just a little snapshot of the great work that our crime reduction team is doing. Again, like I said, that's a team of 3. I expect that to be even down further once we get a team of 5 established and start addressing the issues we have in the community. So those are pretty exciting numbers to see after a year of them being in service. So they're doing exactly what we thought they would do, be able to address our real theft in the community. And I think there's a few cases that aren't reflected in this because we have circumstance codes or clearance codes that we add within our calls for service, and they have a specific 3-digit code that some of their cases they've been active in, following up with, like helping our major crimes unit with homicide cases or serious assault cases, even things that they've helped our drug task force with, or our street crimes unit in Moses Lake. I think they're missing putting their code in some of that stuff. So some of their activity may not reflect of the volume of calls for service. It's not going to reflect these numbers. I mean, these are pretty solid reduction in numbers, but their calls for service are probably up a little bit higher than actually it is. It shows that they handled 246 calls for service last year. I think that's low because I think they're missing their code on cases that they've assisted other agencies with, and within the agency, our major crimes unit, our drug task force. So, but nonetheless, they're producing just as I hope that they would, and I expect nothing but a continued increase in those numbers as the time goes on. We get the team of 5, and as they keep working on the community. So they're doing a great job, and the community I've heard from the community that they're seeing a difference, which is great. That's exactly what we wanted. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's really great.
yeah, pretty exciting. It
Those
was.
numbers are really good.
Yeah, so again, thanks to the commissioners for believing us and understanding that team, the value that team had to allowing us to add that, because it was just a big gap that we weren't able to address. And they've done a great job at addressing that gap that we were missing in our crime efforts. So
I will say, I did post on Farmers on Patrol, Grant County Farm, which I think is a pretty incredible. There's a lot of information there.
Yeah.
We had some theft of some fuel. I did not turn it in, but I was later notified that the person was charged
Mhm.
for the theft.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
can't
we-
believe my big dog let him steal gas at 4 in the morning.
Yeah, Sergeant Ball's got very involved with those groups. He tries to go in and monitor a little bit now because there's a lot of information that doesn't get called in, and a lot of that information does help them on some of the cases that they're working. It also helps us be able to identify property that I think there's been trailers that have been stolen that people just haven't called in, but we've been able to get some identified because of some of the posts on there. So of course, we always encourage people to call in no matter what, obviously,
I know, but.
'cause it
this
helps
is like
us
it's
in
a
the long
minor,
run.
You know,
well, especially with
$50, $75.
yeah, but the thing is, those are the ones that are impacting the community, right? Are those small thefts, and they build up, and those are the ones that affect all of us. I mean, we're not the big drug dealers that our task force is dealing with, or murderers that are out there, our major crimes guys are dealing with, but the majority of our community is impacted by that real theft, and we're only as good as the reports that we get, because these numbers are because people are calling in. They're able to do good follow-up on these cases. And even if patrol is handling it, our crime reduction team are grabbing these cases and doing follow-up. They're developing search warrants, they're recovering property, they're doing surveillance on cases. They're doing
Oh,
great.
they're doing a great job.
They're doing
I can
great
I
work.
can see and feel, so I've been the victim of
Yeah.
a few items that have gone missing.
Yeah, they're doing a really good job. I'm really proud of the team and the work they put in, for sure. Yeah.
Good job.
Anything else that you guys have that I maybe skipped over too quickly or anything?
I got a couple of things.
Yeah.
If we have some time.
Mhm.
So as you know, recruitment and retention for the sheriff's office is always, it's an ongoing issue. Patrol side and correction side still down several positions. Several years ago, we partnered up with public safety testing to be able to kind of help us streamline that process where they do their own physical agility testing. They proctored the civil service test. After partnering up with them, we brought the testing into Ephrata to local, so hopefully we'll capture our local people as well. So we hosted our public safety testing last Saturday at the Ephrata High School. Very successful. We're expecting probably an additional 15 names to be delivered for the correction side. I didn't get any numbers for the patrol, but partnering up with public safety testing has been very helpful for us just to be able to establish the list of names we have for interviews. So, you know, we always like to think that as long as the stars and moons and everything line up, by the end of the year, we should have all of our positions with a name attached to it, which would be something that we haven't been able to do in I don't know how many years. So that's good news for us. On the flip side of that, we received a tort claim last week for a cell phone that was inadvertently placed in somebody's or a wrong property box and given it to somebody else. After going back and reviewing the video footage and everything, kind of tracking the phone, it was placed in somebody else's property box, and we watched that. So
And that's weird, they didn't let you know that they had a phone that wasn't theirs.
I know. We'll make sure to put a new sign up at the door. So it's something I'll be working with Blair and trying to find a resolution for that. But unfortunately, that does happen every once in a while. So that's all I have.
Just on the staffing thing right now, we currently have 2 vacant positions on the patrol side and 6 on the correction side. So we're really hoping that public safety testing that we had will put a good dent in that correction.
You said 6 corrections?
6 corrections, yep. So we're close, we're getting close.
Closer.
We're getting closer, yeah. So. And that's all I have, so.
Okay, well, San Luis Estates, I just shared with both of you about San Luis Estates, the concern for speeding down there and.
Yep, I got that passed on to our traffic guy, just not too long after you sent that to me, so I'll make sure I got that passed along. So.
The water on the roadway. So if there is water on the roadway, contact Public Works.
Or us. I mean,
Okay.
we do Ryan Herring is our Public Works deputy who's assigned to Public Works in that traffic position. He's the one that does most of the follow-up on there, but it can go to either one of our traffic guys right now. We only have 2 in the unit right now. We'll probably get another one added by mid-August, first part of September, so we'll get 3 in there. But then once our positions get fuller and we get people off FTO and out of the academy, we'll be able to start backfilling our vacancies in our special operations section. So we don't want to pull everything off patrol, leave patrol short to get everybody else full. So patrol's, kind of our first line of defense out there, and we want to make sure that they're at least sufficient before we start pulling and backfilling our special operations. So, yeah. Yep.
All I have. Do you have anything?
Thanks, gentlemen.
Yeah,
Ms. Ramos?
absolutely.
I like the
Okay.
wire thefts down and
Yeah.
gas thefts down.
Watershed is this weekend.
Yeah, watershed.
That, like I was telling you earlier, Cindy, that is probably contributing to a little bit of the traffic flow down there in Sunland Estates right now. I have seen the schedule for this upcoming weekend for Watershed, and we did include deputies that are patrolling Sunland. So we'll have somebody down there pretty much full-time, kicking people off the roads, getting cars moved that are parked blocking driveways and stuff like that. It happens every year, but
Yeah, I'd say.
we'll do the best that we can
It's
to.
supposed to be hot. Well, I thought it was going to rain
It's supposed to
Thursday.
cool down.
Yeah, I think 80, low to mid 80s.
Oh,
is all
well, that'll
supposed
be
to
nice.
this week.
Okay.
One last thing, and I know Jim McKiernan is going to cover it with our elected officials luncheon, but him and I have been working together about scheduling at the fair as far as what the post orders are going to be for Seattle's Finest when they come over and stuff. So Jim's been a really good partner in getting that schedule implemented, and we sent it over to Seattle State. We're aware of it. We're working on the radio logistic piece, and but anyway, Jim and I are working together on that, and it's been great. He's super easy to work with. Jim's just awesome. So
I think we got everything ready. All the fencing's up.
oh, perfect. Good.
We had a little squirrel problem over the weekend though, so.
Yeah.
Start eating the wires.
They shorted a bunch of things out in the Ardell and the
Oh, no.
pavilion, and so now they're having to fix all that, so.
Oh, jeez.
A little squirrel can do a lot of damage.
Yeah.
So, and I was talking to Jim and he said probably talk to the sheriff. Last time we had an incident, last year,
Mhm.
and everybody was kind of stopped in the parking lot, waiting, I think, for emergency. Is there a way to just kind of, I'm not saying that we would have another,
Mhm.
if we had an incident of whatever kind, medical or whatever, maybe exiting some of those vehicles so that they're not bottlenecked at that was probably the biggest complaint, that it
Yeah,
was, everybody was sitting in the parking lot,
Yeah, it's,
sometimes for 2.5 hours.
it,
some people
it
were.
is hard and I wish I had a steadfast
Okay.
answer for that. I really do, because quite frankly, we prioritize, right? And at the time, our emergency was in the Fairgrounds and Carnival area, right? So all of our resources are going to that point, absolutely. At some point, we kind of have to rely on some security at the fair that's not going to be directly involved in that. I wish I had the perfect answer. I don't have it. I just know that our resources are going to go immediately.
Well, and I understand that,
Yeah.
but they wouldn't let cars leave the parking lot.
Well, I think at the time, we weren't sure exactly what we
Okay,
had.
okay.
So at that point, once we get established what situation we have, then we can start letting people go. But last thing we want to do is let a bad guy go.
Yeah.
That's the last thing we want to do. So I think once we get, and every situation is different. I can't say that's a blanket answer because there's not. It just depends on the situation at hand. We just have to, evaluate the situation and make sure, of course, balance safety and security of the people that are there. And part of that safety and security is making sure we get the right targets apprehended and keep them secure as well. So it's,
Yeah, we're not gonna have that problem again.
no,
No, but
we're not, because there's gonna be a ton of help out there for us. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be a great fair. It really
Well,
is.
there's enough cameras up there, so we
Yeah.
should see what's going on.
Well, there's gonna be enough cops running around there
Oh,
too.
police there, too.
A lot.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be a great fair. It'll be a great fair. Well, I think last year was a good reflection of the trust the community had with us because
they
of the
came
turnout
back.
we had Saturday.
Yeah. Well, they
I
came
mean,
back.
it was a huge turnout. It was great. So that was refreshing to feel the community get behind us, still attend the fair. So
Okay, that's all I had.
that's it.
And Rob's not online, so he does not have a question. He does, he's keeping it to himself. So it's 9:48, we are in recess until 10 o'clock, we meet with HR.
Perfect. Thank you.
Good morning, it is 10 o'clock, we are here with HR for our weekly update.
Good morning.
While you're passing, I'm gonna have the tables, so I don't get filed and stuff.
Jones joining us today.
I'm not sure.
I think so.
He is out sick, but has said that he would be trying to be online. We haven't seen him yet, though.
He could be one of our callers, he could be, yes.
Do we have callers today? You have one call-in user, Cami. You want to open for public comment?
Yes, thank you for reminding. Is there any public comment for our HR meeting?
Cami, I've given you the ability to unmute if you have any public comment.
I'm assuming we don't. So moving right along.
Item number 2, labor relations, need to chat about time clocks. These have not been bargained through the unions yet, or it would be impact bargaining. Maintenance, facilities and maintenance were asked to hold off on placing time clocks in any of the union locations. However, there was some confusion, and some did get placed, which got the unions concerned. So, and they have requested to bargain the impacts of having the time clocks. I had planned to put them in our bargaining cycle, which is, we'll start doing that in the next month for 2026, but we'll be doing it earlier. So just in case you hear any scuttle about that, we'll have to bargain. I will have to bargain.
Yeah. I've
Off
heard some
cycle.
Complaint, but it's from, people that are not in the union.
Okay, well. And their concern was what?
Why are we clocking in?
Oh.
Department head, why do we need to clock in? We have extra, we put more hours in the for, I'm like, it's just, I believe the elected officials, I did share with them, I believe the elected officials will be clocking in too and keeping track of hours, so. Department
If they
heads are
would like
not
to
the
get
only one.
paid.
Oh,
Because
I guess I
that's-
could say yes, if you
I
want to
mean,
get, you
it's our
don't
new,
have to do
it's
it,
the
but
new
if you wanna get-
times,
If you want to get
it's
paid,
the new pay structure. If
Mhm.
people want to get paid, they're gonna have to put their hours in. Otherwise Tyler won't be able to do time. So. Yeah. That's what I would tell him. If you'd like to get paid, clock in. It's a change for everybody and I know it's uncomfortable. But it is the system that we've gone to, so.
And for those employees who have worked in other areas before coming to Grand County are used to that. I am used to that,
Yeah.
so.
I think there's a lot of
Caitlin?
employees that, most employees
Yeah.
have to clock in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't have anything further on that. Just wanted to give you the FYI. Item number 3, job application evaluation. I would requesting a 10-minute executive session.
Okay, we'll go into executive session for 10 minutes for job application evaluation, RCW 4231.10.1G. And 10 minutes from 10:04 to 10:14. Was Brandon Guernsey hired? He's an employee?
Yep.
Okay.
He was hired.
It is 10:14. We are out of executive session. There's no action to take from that.
Item 4, do we need to go into exec on either of those? Okay. So just have 2 investigations going on and just wanted to let you know that we will be moving forward with those. The first one there is
Is it PAs?
the assessor has been out of the office,
Okay.
so we need to meet with her today.
Okay, was a PA's office notified on this one?
They were not.
They were not, which is what we're waiting for.
Okay,
So,
okay.
and the second one, Gina will be meeting with the one of the employees this afternoon, correct? To discuss that, and we'll move forward on that one as
The
needed.
new one? Okay.
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. And given that one, because we have different entities involved, it may be a clear risk. Just because of the department that it's in and that separation.
Okay.
So, but we'll let you know.
Okay.
Okay, item number 5, I have a PAR for you to sign. This one is for the fire marshal. This was approved by the board a couple weeks ago. Just provided us the PAR for signature.
Hand that to Kevin so it doesn't get messed up in his paper.
So make a paper plane.
Yeah, throw it in, like, I don't know, it's one of those that got shoved underneath there.
Oh, thank you. Also, under number 5, yesterday in PMR, we heard of Renew's request for another FTE for the SUD P1. Is the board prepared to make a decision on that request?
I'm okay with that one.
It's the one Naomi was
sorry, Cindy.
Oh, Naomi, I think was why am I not finding the paperwork?
Noemi is the supervisor,
Yep.
yeah,
I'm good with that one.
okay. Thank you.
It's here somewhere, but I just am not.
We also heard from Public Works and they had a couple requests. Job description, the Public Works Director request for reclassification. I have asked Jonathan to do a comp study for standard
director?
comparables,
Okay.
so we can at least see where that's at, and so that will be coming back to you.
I will say I did a comparable in the mid-range and we are actually a little higher, just looking at, anyway.
And that's what I anticipate, so.
Okay.
So that one, we'll get the data written out for you and bring that for at a later time. County engineer, the job description, the question there yesterday is, do you want the county engineer to still be supervised by the director? Or does the board want to take on that supervision? For the recommendation of CRAB, the CRAB board was,
Well, I think it's just that they report directly to the board and somehow if we can line it so that they either work or report to, they need to work with the Public Works Director.
yeah,
And because it is nice when there's some oversight on either direction, you know, they should be working as a team. And I think for the RCW or it's a WAC that they have to report to the board.
to the board, yeah.
Make that line directly to the
Okay.
board on that one. So the Public Works Director and the Public Works Engineer will both report directly to the board. And they usually do come, or they used to
Yeah,
come
for the
together.
most part, they're in here together.
Right,
So they're, I mean, essentially they're
We
reporting to
did
both of
have
us.
to separate it a few years ago, just because the engineer, we didn't have a whole lot of talking time with the engineer because
Yeah.
we were just
He
spending
was-
too much time on with the director, so we did plan a meeting
separate it out.
just
Okay,
with the engineer.
I will keep working on that job
And,
description.
yeah, and I would just work with CRAB because all of our funding goes through CRAB, so if they're not happy with something,
Yeah, okay, will do.
so I would see what they really need and what would work.
Wait, sorry, for my notes.
Yes,
Are we keeping the current structure?
Yes.
I honestly, we've changed it so many times, I could pull it up probably. The engineer does need to report to the board, but I do think. we may
on
need to-
roads,
Mhm.
but as far as supervision, you
I
don't,
think
the
they
board
would-
doesn't have to supervise. You can
Correct.
have a supervisor over him, but he or she has to be able to report
Directly to the board.
directly to the board
Yeah.
about roads, the financials for the roads, ER&R, all of that is my understanding from the department, so,
So however it looks on that,
yeah. I will
but
work,
we do need a line directly to the board.
Yep.
So the director and the engineer need to report.
Yeah, and
directly to the board.
their organizational chart is clear that that position still has direct line to you, so I will make sure that it's I have a plan,
Unless you
so,
want to. I just feel like they work in that department, the director
I think we need to,
has
we need to
oversight.
do what CRAB expects us to do, however that looks.
okay.
But I believe they can be, I don't know if they can be under the director, the report to the director and the board, the supervisory component of it.
I will reach out to CRAB,
Okay, and to see how that
Yeah.
works. So however it's gonna lay
I can
out
do
on the
that.
line,
absolutely.
on the org chart. Because it's not like we haven't done an org chart for public works.
Yeah. It
We'll be the
gets-
ones that
it
change it
gets-
if it has to be changed this time.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Okay, so the next item under 5, compensation connections. Yesterday in PMR, I brought up the restructuring of job descriptions along with reclassifications going forward. I think that there needs to be a cutoff So Compensation Connections has the most updated job descriptions we have. I would take care of Public Works, the engineer and the director, make sure that those two are updated, get them to those. But I think anything going forward, I would request that we don't update anything, change anything, so that Compensation Connections can do their job, which they're getting paid handsomely for, to update job descriptions. We don't want to be, in a month from now, us updating a job description and they've updated it and now they have to redo it again. It's going to cost more. Doesn't seem feasible to do that. So I ask that the board support us in that. I think that some departments and electeds may not be crazy about the idea and they might want to change things now, but
How long do you think that's gonna take the compensation connection to do those?
the estimated time is December to have all the positions updated.
But then we'll get a true and accurate.
Right.
And do have a question on this that impacts, can we go into executive session for like 3 minutes?
Yeah.
On this one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Under which,
It will be, job applicant evaluation, RCW 4231.10.1G. 10:23 to 10:24 to 10:29. So, that's one
Yes.
thing about this. Okay, we're out of executive session, no action needs to be taken.
so to continue the conversation prior to exec session, again, requesting that the support from the board that we cease all job description modifications and reclassifications, and from now till Compensation Connection comes back with the new job descriptions.
I would agree.
Thank you, Kevin.
Yep, I agree too. I'm sorry about skipping last week's meeting, I was on a call, so.
Item 6, I have 2 proposals for the board from the HR office. The first one is, should I go by order and how I have them listed? Background checks. We had talked about background checks, the added expense for doing background checks for all new hires. The board had approved that we do that. So I put together a proposal to make that official. In plan still January 1st of 26, but I wanted to bring the proposal forward for you in full so that departments can, if the board approves this proposal, the departments and offices can plan accordingly in their 2026 budget.
Kevin and I and Rob just had our backgrounds vetted.
Background's done.
We're good.
Okay.
Nothing came up.
Who was the vendor?
Actually,
We
Rob
went over
hasn't gotten his back, I don't think yet.
The vendor, we just went over to the sheriff. Susie asked us for some, I don't know, maybe one of her,
Her grants.
something, so we had to go do it. And
Gotcha.
I thought she got mailed a copy. She's like, oh, I don't get the copy. It comes directly to you. So I dropped it off, put it on her desk, so she has it. But yeah, I'm clean. At least for now.
So I asked that you review both of those.
I do like the tier, because some levels you just.
Yeah, some you don't need everything, others you want more than just the standard, so.
No, I think it looks good.
I would agree. I think it's a good idea.
Are you prepared to initial, or would you like to give it some thought and I can bring it back next week?
I'm
Good to
prepared
initial.
initially.
Okay.
Especially since we personally had to go through background checks, so we know it's not painful. And then get your fingers rolled in. It's on our agenda, right, so we can do this?
It is on the agenda. Well, yeah, vaguely on the agenda. And if we're breaking rules, tell us.
We've got the public comment portion and it falls under one of the categories.
Well, do you want
of
us to
the
put it-
Agenda, so.
Thought that was Rob for just a moment.
Oh,
but
I
I'm
did
not
too.
really sure. Okay, I'm like, oh, he's coming in.
Because it could be, I mean, I could bring it in.
So does
consent
this
if
need to
that's-
go on our? Should we roll it through on our consent agenda?
You could, but we had
We had
structured.
We typically
the-
don't.
Yeah, we had
Yeah.
structured the human resources meetings with
Okay.
the public comment portions, so that way.
The
commissioners
comment
can
just made
take
me
action.
nervous, so I just want to make sure we're doing it correctly. Okay.
Just want to do it correctly. Okay, second proposal. I think I've also talked to the board about, this one is for implementing invoicing for labor relation legal fees. So currently, all legal fees for labor relations come through the HR's budget. What we're asking is that for anything, contract negotiations will still come through our department and we'll be responsible for that. However, grievance responses, arbitrations, consultations, disciplinary hearings, anything along those matters that are created within a department or office, I'm asking that they be responsible for the fee for that.
I would agree.
This would increase accountability, transparency, cost management, and equity to ensure that, you know, departments who have a lot of upheaval and issues be held accountable for that. So.
And we had some frequent flyers a few years ago and they were billed directly. So I don't know when it changed, when it, I don't,
Yeah, I don't
kind of
know.
transitioned. It was just easier to pay it and not bill, so. And we probably didn't have a policy on it, so.
Yeah.
So it'd be good. Then you can feel that.
Yeah, yeah. So are you prepared to
I am.
Yeah.
sign? Okay. And I'm sure that there
Roger's
are those
missing
who
out on
are-
these fun things, so if somebody gets mad, probably,
Yeah.
I wasn't there.
I
didn't
wasn't
sign."
there, I wasn't there.
That's why he's not gonna be here.
He knew. He read it. He was like, I'm not participating.
And I anticipate that not everybody will be happy with this, but
Again, our goal is to make everybody happy, so we'll get there.
well, that's a good goal to have. I don't know that you'll ever succeed, but it's a good goal. Thank you for
Somebody's
that.
always gonna
We
be
don't
mad.
mind setting ourselves up for failure.
Okay, item number 7, county administrator. Last week, we talked about setting up interviews. I don't know that I really got clear direction or whether we wanted to wait.
I think
We
we're
have
gonna
no new
wait. We're gonna wait
applications.
for,
I think we need to wait till after the Kirk issue is taken care of,
when Kirk comes
in my
back.
opinion.
Yeah. We were kind of waiting for Kirk to come back.
So then probably, but what I will do is we will pull the advertisement for it and then reach out to those, the top candidates and let them know that it's currently on hold, but that we are still interested and that when it reopens, or when the board is ready to move
Well,
forward,
and-
they'll be contacted.
I don't want to take words out of somebody's mouth, but Rob did say, we can leave it open when we may be getting.
Yeah, and I can leave it
So I
open
would
as
just
well,
continue to
however
leave
you'd
it
like.
open, and I think we can do just an interview. I think we'll reach out to the few and let them know that we could probably interview in September, October. Might be a good time to start interviewing. Is that
Yeah, we can,
like a safe time
you
to?
can do it however you would like to do it.
End of September. 40 days should be up.
End of September, yeah.
And I don't mean to put pressure or be negative in any way, but the longer the recruitment process stays open, the less likely those applicants will continue to be available.
Right.
So just keep that in mind, that if we're gonna be reaching out in September for a potential interview, those people may or may not be available. Yeah. Which is the risk that we run, but
We've gone for however many years without a county administrator.
Forever without one,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's fine.
Thank you for
Well, and
that.
let's bring that back up when Rob is here, because I
Okay,
don't want to make
I
a
will bring it
decision.
back next
This is a
week.
big part of.
Bring it back next week. The next item I have under benefits, I do have a sick leave donation request. I had brought,
Gosh, page 2, I'm like, I'm not seeing it.
I know, I couldn't get it all on one page, I tried. From Renew, I had brought this request or a similar request a few months ago. However, we didn't have the medical documentation
And did we get it?
to support it. I do have it now.
Okay.
So the request is for 320 hours. And I am making a recommendation that the board approve that. So I'm
And
gonna
it is
let you
a
review.
life-threatening, whatever it is.
Let you review that.
Okay.
It does fall under the policy.
How's that work with sick leave donations? Is it just in that department or that area?
No,
or-
Barb or
No.
Caitlin will send out a sick leave, a call for sick leave
Yeah,
donations
it'll
throughout
be
the county.
countywide.
The employee has given permission to have their name shared, so that will be shared. And then those who have enough sick leave, if they choose to donate to that person, they can. And those numbers are collected. Caitlin, do you guys collect the numbers or do they go directly to accounting or payroll?
I believe they go to accounting.
Okay.
It's a good answer. Caitlin's like, they go to the county.
Yeah.
I have
I
no
don't
idea.
remember the last time.
I think they do.
Thank you for the follow-up on that, so we can.
You're very welcome. Okay.
I thoroughly enjoyed our hub meeting, by the way. We
Oh,
haven't met with
yes.
hub for a long time.
Yes, that was one thing I did wanted to follow up on you and I went right over the top of it, didn't I?
No, that's next.
Oh, it's next. Okay, perfect. So it was good.
Yeah, and sometimes we kind of get the breakdown. I do really like the breakdown of how many ER visits,
Okay,
you know, like the top 10 prescriptions and top 10 cost of services. I kind of like to see those just because. I'm looking-
please know that on the breakdown for the ER visits is every action that they do in the ER
It's thrown in there.
is one event. So if you get an aspirin, that's an event. If you get an IV, that's an event. So it's not, the numbers can look really large, like why are that many people going to the ER? It's not per person, it's per event while at them,
Everything per.
while there.
Per detail.
Yeah, per detail. So, yes, but if we can, it's good to know those things because then we can help where we need to educate
And I
more.
think they're gonna attend our employee barbecue, which would
Yes,
be huge.
and do
So, yeah.
a health fair at that time. Yep, they will get
Be a
our
perfect
vendors,
opportunity.
they will
Be our
be there,
entertainment.
they will get the other vendors available and provide education and. So yeah, that's exciting. Does the board quarterly, would you like to see Hub? Or every 6 months?
I'm okay with every 6 months.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I know Dan recommended not an increase, but or that we would always have an increase.
Yeah.
Whether small or large. because
small-
we
yeah.
can't- I mean, just the price of medical is going up every year. For us not to make an increase would not
And I don't
be-
think he recommended that we don't do an increase. I think he said we could not do an increase and with our reserves, we'd be okay. But I think as we get closer, their recommendation will be, a small increase just to make sure that we still have that cushion.
A small something every
Yeah.
year.
Our plan is doing well. which is a good thing. A good thing. Alright. Does the other piece of that is earlier, well, I guess it was last year, last fall, we had, is it AccuSure come in, and we did meet, Loris and I just recently met with them. They provided us with some numbers. We just got that report back, so does the board want to have them come in and do a presentation? Oh,
Yeah, Kevin wasn't here. I think they came last year in
Yeah.
November, December, and Kirk wasn't ready for, it was just too close to the.
it was,
end of the
yeah,
year
it was
do
too
a
close
change.
to open enrollment.
So I guess I would be.
I think what we'll do, because we are out, it is being out to market, so we'll ask Hub and the other insurance company to meet with the AWC, give their, thank you, I was trying to look for another word, but their spiel to them.
Dog and pony show.
And then ask them to also meet with the board, so you can hear the same thing. And then the AWC can make the recommendation of whether we stay with Hub or whether we venture elsewhere, but if you're okay with that, that's how we'll move forward. And then that is everything I had for you today. Do you have anything for us?
Yeah, I believe Barbara's gonna reach out. We have our board of EEC, and some of our boards, I guess they'll work with HR and our risk manager, Blair, and see if the mandatory training is necessary for our volunteers or if our paid employees. So our board of EEC is a little unique. Instead of getting a stipend to attend a meeting, they do get $25 an hour, which we forgot to go through PMRT on that. So.
Did that just change?
That changed last April.
It was last year.
It was approved on consent because they were doing $100 a day. And then they requested changing to $25 per hour instead of $100 per day to kind of help with because there were some days where they were only here for an hour or two, and then some days where they were here for the whole day, and then that split, like if you were to divide the $100 per hour, they would be making less than minimum wage. But that was something that just went through consent that the commissioners approved last April.
So April of 24 or 25?
24.
Okay. Okay, perfect.
So I guess what brought this to the forefront is they had requested, or I guess the Board of EEC voted amongst themselves to pay themselves. Barb, let me know if I'm not saying this correctly, to pay themselves while they were studying the material at home. And so they submitted, it was about an hour last week when they submitted to Barb, but typically we don't let boards set their, I mean, it comes through to the commissioners, even though they are a quasi-judicial board. We don't allow other departments or elected officials to kind of change the makeup of their billing, but I didn't realize they were getting paid hourly. I just thought it was.
Does this board have bylaws?
So the short answer is yes. The long answer is they did not have written documented bylaws until literally last month. Because they operate with Department of Revenue's standards and expectations, they in the past, I think, had felt that it wasn't necessary because their conduct is, for hearings dictated by Department of Revenue. But earlier this year, I opened that can of worms, Barb and I, about the fact that they did not have any bylaws for standards of conduct or policies and procedures. There's some things that Department of Revenue leaves up to the board, so like deciding deadlines for whatever.
Sure.
So Barb and I together worked and drafted some policies and like standards of conduct for bylaws. And that was just recently, literally like a week ago,
Adopted.
approved, yes, by the Board of Equalization. But part of that was that desire to have the review time, hours.
And was that put in the policy?
The chair had requested having that added to their policies. But then after we had talked with the commissioners yesterday was when Barb and I went to Laserfish to look at how it was done previously. And we found that this time around we had done it incorrectly, that it should have been on consent or some sort of formal request. And then now here we are to talk about the actual proper way to do it.
As far as the training goes, they are required to do the sexual harassment training.
That's what we figured, at least
Yeah,
that.
at a minimum.
Yeah,
So
there was
then it
one
would-
other one. I think we wanted them to establish security as well, just
Yeah,
because they're all on their laptops or their iPads at home. And thought that those, at least those two at a minimum would be appropriate.
I will get them set up in that system. They will be notified through local gov U that they have assignments assigned to them. And they're welcome to reach out to me if they need any assistance, if something's not working. I do know they all have email addresses, so it shouldn't be an issue, but I can get them set up.
So then would they just, when it comes, like, they get paid for that training?
Yes, they should.
But, or
Yeah.
guys?
And those two, the two that they would get, they're estimated an hour each. So now somebody could sit down and take more time doing it.
But the class is an hour,
Yeah,
so if they can't get it
it's
done
close
to an hour.
it's one credit and it's a credit per hour. So
Start to finish, it's an hour.
yeah,
It will take you more if you walk away from it.
Right.
Yeah.
So they should essentially.
So 8 hours later.
No.
They should get paid an hour.
yeah, they should get paid an hour. And it could be that the board requests that they do it here. I mean, if they have a meeting, they do it during a meeting time or an hour, come in an hour early or stay an hour late after a meeting. I don't know how the Board of Ed works, but just thinking that that could be,
And they do a lot of stuff at home, at
Oh,
least
do
I
they?
did
Okay.
anyway.
so they do that anyways. And seasonals are doing all 7. I would say that volunteers, if they're gonna be on the computer system, like Kevin said, cybersecurity, if they're gonna be on our computer systems, but the sexual harassment, it has to be done by everybody.
So like our fair advisory, planning commissioners.
I would say
Okay.
so.
So tourism, I don't know about fair advisory, I don't think, they don't have Grant County email addresses. So, yeah, tourism doesn't have Grant County email addresses, and like homeless housing task force is made up of, it's mostly government or some sort of like healthcare, something like that, where I would assume that they would do some sort of training. But like the homeless housing task force does have 2 members, a primary and an alternate, that are lived experience homeless. And so they are not necessarily somebody that is employed with an entity that it would be a safe assumption that they did that. They also do not have Grant County email addresses. So I
Do they
understand
have-
this is kind of a large.
But they don't get
Grant
paid, I mean, they don't,
Do they
they're
use
not
equipment?
getting paid, they're not reimbursed from the county.
Correct.
They're just sitting on a board.
Tourism is reimbursed for travel by the county, but they do not, like, they're not paid for their time here at the meetings, and they do not have Grant County email addresses.
For volunteers.
So they're
Yes.
volunteers, not employees at all.
Same
They would be
with,
considered as, so when I think of a volunteer, I think of a volunteer at youth services who
Guardian ad litem.
guardian ad litem volunteer, where I would say they need to do all
Yeah,
the
they got
courses,
it.
but
Okay.
maybe not. Let me give that some more
A
thought.
full-time volunteer.
Yeah,
And then, I guess branching off of that, Rochelle Boffman, I always say her name wrong, Cooley Creative, is the commissioner's contract with her for social media, or not social media, sorry, marketing management. And one of the things that she does is that she does make changes to the tourism website, the county website. She also does not have a Grant County email address because she is her own entity, but is the cybersecurity something that we would, because I mean, she did like the,
She's contracted?
yes.
We have a lot of contracted,
Yeah.
a lot.
Yes, I just don't know how many of them actually do stuff on the website, and I know that she does.
She does.
She also controls the tourism app that Grant County has now. So I'm just not sure how far out we want to go when it comes to trainings, but
I would say for cybersecurity, it's anybody who's accessing our server, like our
Yeah.
stuff. And if she's accessing the website, that's it, I would say no.
Yeah.
Like if she was accessing drives or the network, I think the
And
website.
And I would like to bring TS into that conversation because it really is their purview of who needs it and who doesn't.
You don't let very
So
many
it's-
people have access.
Yeah.
and I mean, she did that, the big one, like with TS, where you do the training about how to use
Oh, okay.
that
Oh,
side of it. So
okay.
she did that.
She
I
did
just-
that one this year.
Yes, I just don't know, you know, since she's
Okay.
her own thing, I don't know what cybersecurity stuff she does, if she does like, I mean, I know quite a bit of cybersecurity stuff can be considered common sense, but
Common sense doesn't exist most days anymore.
Don't assume,
and the definition is different for everybody. but-
Yes, absolutely. So I will meet with TS about that, but it sounds like she's already participated this year, so I wouldn't have her do it twice if she's already done it with them.
So it sounds like Board of Equal will be paid for the 1 hour per class if they're required to take 2, so.
Yeah.
Whether it's at home or whatever, so that
Yep.
has been approved. Kevin, are you okay? approving
Yeah,
it?
no, I
Okay.
would agree. It'd be good for him to do it anyway.
And then for the at-home review portion and like the wages, I mean, I know that the wage change, Barb emailed you about this earlier. I don't know if you've seen it yet, but
Today,
yes.
I've been in meetings all morning, so I probably have not.
Sorry.
It's
The wage
great.
change last April 2024 from $100 a day to $25 an hour.
Okay.
And then the desire to be paid for review time at home. And the question was if that was something that needed to go through PMRT. Is that correct?
Well, I think just hourly, I wasn't aware that they were getting paid hourly. I thought they just had $150 a day. Maybe they just assumed, because I thought that's what it was.
So the reason why we did that is because some days we'd come in here for an hour and then we're done. But then there were days when we'd be here all day. So if you're getting paid $100 to come here for an hour, that's great. But if you're here all day for 8 hours, that's $12 an hour.
I didn't know they had an hourly wage already established. So I think I was just kind of thrown off that I just wasn't aware.
So I guess who's monitoring the hours, their review hours then?
So that was the discussion that got started last week. The thought was that they would email Barb, or eventually the clerk of the BOE, how many hours they spent reviewing the materials. They would need to have that email to her by the time the hearings start, basically. They have a minimum, like, you can't request to be paid for 15 minutes, right? You have half an hour or more. They did not set a maximum number of hours that you can submit. I think they felt that that was not a concern with the current boards, or the current board members. That was their decision. But that is just the tracking that they have is just a written email to the clerk of how long they spent.
So more to come. So read the email and we'll talk about it next week.
Yes,
From Barb.
more to come.
Sorry, guys, I've been up here. It's been busy up here. So yes, Cindy, you did approve that on April 16th of 24, the change of the $25 an hour
back in April of last year. So it's just a lot going on, and I apologize. I was not the clerk back then, and I'm trying to get everything together here. So whatever I can do to be helpful as the new clerk and as Caitlin and I transition. So whatever we can do.
Okay, I will probably be chatting with you, how we can help monitor that.
Yeah, that's a difficult one. 'Cause if you
Yeah.
only have 5 or 6 hearings, you're not spending an hour to review them, in my opinion. Unless there are 5 or 6 data centers, then you're spending.
Well, and with your knowledge of that board, maybe that's we can do some guidelines and of time and cases and.
Barbie said it was 4/16, April 16th, 2024.
I believe that's what she said.
Okay, I think she said that too, but sometimes I start making my own number.
And it's great that, the board is able to self-govern itself now. But we also want to ensure that something is in place in case you have somebody who does overutilize hours or over-document hours that may not.
Yeah, if you're spending 4 hours reviewing a BOE hearing date, that's extreme.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. So we have to put a kibosh to that.
Okay. And that will, I'm sure, come with time as
Well, and
hours
we also
come in and
have
we're
building
monitored,
and
and that's
planning.
being monitored.
For our planning commissioners too, so we may need to look at that. They are sort of a quasi board.
Yes, Cindy, it was April 16th of 2024.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was approved.
Okay.
All right, it is 10:59. We're in recess until, let's go 11:02. We'll return.
Anne's not here.
Good morning, it's 11:02. We are here with our budget and finance committee meeting.
So we have one thing that we want to go over first. There's one of you thing first, or us. We have an issue with DRS on our audit that we had. We have 4 individuals that are contracted employees that they are saying are not technically contracted by their statutes.
Are they in indigent defense?
Yes.
Okay.
And they want me to do a certification of corrections for them, but I have informed that I can't because I don't have any authority over it to do that. They're not employees in our system, so we had spoke this morning about it, and I think they had a little more information on it than I did. We're gonna have to address this. So we thought we'd bring it up this morning while we're in here.
Is the board aware of that relationship with independent contractors in the PD's office?
I am. Kevin, did you know that we have employees and we have contracted employees? The contracted employees have to have their own office, their own phone, their own clerk, and they get paid at a different rate than the employees.
Yeah,
So I don't believe they get.
Sorry to interrupt, but Brett Hill brought this up. He came earlier and wanted to be a part of this. Do you want me to invite him to this
Yes,
meeting?
please.
Okay, I'll give him a call.
So is it because of the way they're contracted, that they say that they're
Yeah,
contracted?
and DRS is saying it's because they're 100% contracted to not be able to take any other cases outside of Grant County. And
Because that creates a conflict of interest. It's an RCW that the state legislature adopted, but by adopting those rules, the state essentially established an employer-employee relationship by nature, by virtue. So we're not gonna be able to get away from that. And that was something that came up, Kevin had emailed Decorah about a month ago, saying we need to establish this, but looking at the contract itself, they are establishing that relationship, so.
So they're not independent contractor status.
Correct. Based on the verbiage in the contract, which is mandated by state law. So we're in
Because they
this.
can only have
but
so
then
many
Brent
case
has a
credits.
whole different, a whole different there's some that fits that and some that don't,
He
since they
is,
don't work here, they're not overseeing. There's issues, but I'm out of all of that. I'm only have to worry about whether I have to report them to DRS and how I correct it.
And what the effective date is on those,
Yeah.
because the contracts date back years. So we're in a bit of a situation.
So is that when, probably 4 years ago, 5 years ago, they they've lowered the case credits. So I think when they lowered the case credits, maybe 4 years ago. Been 5, could have been 6.
And I
We
don't
were
know,
over in that office when it happened.
and I don't know when you started receiving contracts and were approving them for independent contractors.
2007.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But the case credits were like 1,200 and then they lowered them down to 350. 700, maybe 750, and they've continued to lower them down. When they've reduced them, that's when they were, I guess, exclusively full-time employees. They could take. So I guess it's,
In the retirement system?
That's what they want me to report them in the retirement system.
but we need to go back and,
But they're not even our system as an employee, so it makes it a little hard.
So what does the Department of Revenue recommend that we do?
put them into employees.
I haven't spoken to Department of Revenue. The Department of Retirement wants us to report them as employees and them to be treated as an employee. Yeah, but
Right.
they're not on our payroll system, so that's, I mean, PARs would have to be done, positions would have to be approved. I mean, I
Yeah.
assume that would, it's a
They would
full
then become
process
Full-time,
that has to
regular
be done
employees.
to determine.
And what's the effective date?
Yeah, well, they are saying from the contract date, the start of the contract.
2007?
I don't think it will go,
Yeah, they
Well,
probably don't, I
let's
don't think
see.
they go back because we have Judge
well, they don't have a
Wynn.
date on
Judge Wynn
here.
is now a judge. He's
Not
no
dated,
longer.
so.
Plus, wouldn't it be based on when the law changed to create the?
I think it'd be when it was the 350, because they could do others.
Yes, you are allowed to have independent contractors, but, the DLL has,
Wait, Brett, just as you're walking in the,
Just been a day.
we are talking about the DRS audit for, you have 4 employees that are contracted employees. And that apparently because of relationship that was made a law that they are basically exclusively working from Grant County, but we're paying them as contracted employees. But we need to be paying the
They want us
DRS.
to report them as their employees.
So, and we're trying to
We've
figure out
talked
the
about it a
date.
bit. We've talked
Yeah.
about it.
I think HR probably.
Are
has
you
more
asking me what I think?
Yes.
What I think is she's absolutely wrong. I think there's a woman that is not an attorney who has decided she's got a little power and that she's gonna make a decision on her own. I think we're a long ways from having an employee relationship.
So do we send them a letter to that effect?
Well, I do not represent the county. I gave you my opinion on that, I thought. I mean, I can go through what I think and I can go through the whack. I can go through, I mean, I can tell you why I think all of that. As an attorney, I think it needs to go out to the county's employment attorneys to have them get an opinion on it. That's what I think, because DRS clearly didn't send it to their AGs to get an opinion.
and when I did some research on the WAC statutes, we have the Department of Labor and FLSA that has a checklist, and when I read through the contract, back when this was an issue about PARs, I got the impression that we were creating or relationship, because we're limiting their work. They aren't allowed to take other cases elsewhere. We're required to give them a legal assistant. We're essentially limiting their work, which is one of the requirements of establishing
Okay,
an employee
and
relationship.
that's the problem with not having an attorney looking at it, okay, is because it's not a checklist. Okay, you have to read it with all of the statutes. Did you read 10-101 with it?
I did.
Okay, 10-101 requires
Correct.
that attorneys follow the standards of public defense,
That's correct.
okay?
And the law established the employee-employee relationship by nature.
No, I don't think it did. And I think every county is in the same situation. In fact, I think the Association of Counties is gonna want, to weigh in if this is how we're gonna go. So I think, I think there's a lot of reasons. Now, I can tell you the WAC, I can go down some of the factors of the WAC. Is the worker required to comply with detailed work instructions? No, we don't even talk to them. Contractors take their cases and they do them. Okay, so there's, and I can go right down the WAC here and it tells you clearly which, there are a few things that indicate that it may be an employee relationship. But there's even more that say that it's not. It says no.
And we also have
Okay.
to balance.
Now-
federal.
Right, and I also, with regard to the DRS problem, the real problem they have is DRS is telling us to do it. Section 4, which is its own subsection, says the burden of persuasion by claiming that a worker is an independent contractor or an employee is on the worker that's making the claim. So I don't know what DRS is doing.
I think we should get some legal advice on it.
I mean, I think that's the ultimate thing, because from your perspective, what I say doesn't matter spit, because I don't represent the county. Maybe what the prosecutor tells you, you want to follow their advice, but I am not your attorney for that reason.
Right.
And but I won't tell you why it makes me mad, but but at any rate, I think we've gone to great steps to keep them separate, to make sure that we have a contractor relationship.
Right.
And yes, there are things that that conflict between the State Bar Association, attorneys' obligations, and this whole idea of employee relationships. The trouble is if you go there as well, is you're going to have to create a whole new department to supervise employees. If they're going to be employees, they've got to be supervised. And I can't do it because we're going to have conflicts of interest. It's a whole, this isn't as simple as let's sign them up for DRS.
Has anybody reached out to WASAC to find out what their position is on it?
Sorry?
He was asking if anybody reached out to last time.
Yeah, that might be.
Anyways, we just wanted to bring it up. And so then we can move on to our finance meeting.
Okay, thank you, Fred,
If
Is that the-
Mandy's ready, that gave Mandy a few minutes to
Is
get.
that the only thing you want to talk about?
No, I think that's all I
Yes,
wanted
that's it.
to,
Yeah, we just had it.
just kind of get.
Michelle
more-
brought it up, so it sounds like there's more to come, so we will.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
Look into
no,
it.
I'm sorry, I'm not much help.
No, but I wanted your take. on
Other
it, so.
than I completely disagree with the idea that they're not contractors, because I've been a contractor. And I understand 100% how that works. And they are autonomous, completely autonomous. Whether there are caseload standards or not, and that's the reason for that language, is so that they don't get disbarred. But other than that, they are autonomous. We don't control them in any way. Anyway, there you go.
There you go.
That's why it fires me up, I guess.
Okay, well, we didn't need to get you fired up. We'll save that for your client.
It happens to
We
me a
don't
lot.
want to be.
That's why you're an attorney, that's what you do.
Thank you, Brad. Okay.
You can't be the only county they've given that recommendation to.
Yeah, I don't
I
know.
think we'll have more to come on this one.
Oh,
which is
there's,
okay.
yeah,
We'll
so
be
I'm just
reaching
like, I
out
told
to
them, I'm like, I don't have any authority over these poor people, sorry, you're gonna have to wait.
Okay.
But, you ready? Got it? Okay, sorry, I'm gonna apologize right up front, because we're a little short-handed, and I don't even have the minutes for the finance committee. I have,
It's okay.
so,
No, we heard there could be a, you know,
No, I didn't, but I made interim stuff for you guys, to at least give you something.
gonna give us something, whether it's from another county, but we've got it.
Well, since Rob's not here, I'm just,
Is Rob online? We have 5 attendees.
We have two attendees, Jim and Kim.
Okay. All right. So maybe it would be Rob. So he's not on. Gerald, do we want to start with your meeting?
Okay, we can pass the minutes, and put them on the agenda for next, month.
Move to approve do you want me to approve those?
We're gonna
Thank
have-
you, HR.
I don't have them, I don't have them.
Oh, you don't have them, okay.
Okay, so right now, actually, these numbers were yesterday, and the state pool data rate is now 440, even though the monthly rate is still around 437. So it jumped up a little bit. We're estimating the end of this month, we have about a $50 million deposit from the state happening at the end of this month, on Thursday. So hopefully it'll be around 140,000.
What's that
440
50 million
million
for?
in the state pool with 390 million in agencies and munis. We do have a call on Friday for 10 million. We had a partial call on white item. I did not reflect this in the numbers on that partial call, so reduced the total number by $4.5 million. So it's actually 385,075,000. That's actually the total, because the one of them had a partial call where they called 4.5 million of that item just Monday. Yep, but this happened this week, and I didn't reflect it yet until we saw for sure. So, we're still sitting on over $525 million in our investment pool. The sales tax came in, was quite a bit more than a year ago. While in a way we're behind our budget, but our budget is a cycle things where our second half of the season is usually a higher average for the year on sales tax than the first 6 months. So right now, budget-wise, we're doing fine, and we're 11% ahead of last year. But the numbers also reflect practically no growth in the other countywide numbers and slightly in the negative, which means the cities are not pulling their weight on sales happening within a city or activities to generate sales tax. So we're doing well for this year regarding sales tax. Because of we don't have up to numbers yet for June, because waiting for GP access to get those numbers for the June revenues that we don't got yet. So we have last year, so we don't have good numbers. When I get those numbers, I'll send you an up-to-date report showing the comparisons of where we're at in June for all these categories. We're with the more refund checks that we're putting out, it's getting now over $3 million of refund checks. Do we have the last large one cashed yet?
Mm-mm.
So we have to sit on cash in our checkbook until these checks get cashed by these data centers and other entities. The payee for positive pays for schools is complete, and we just got 2 districts left, Port Mattawa and
Mosquito 2.
Mosquito 2 that haven't come on board.
I'm
Or
like, I don't know that school district, okay.
just we're trying to get them on board because we sent notice of September 1st, August 31st, September 1st, that we're closing out the old account.
Mosquito 2, is that the one up north?
That's, is that Electric City or is that
Yes,
Electric
yes,
City? Yeah,
yeah.
because 3 is Coulee City. Yeah, the numbers are out of order. So, And so we're dealing with that. Those revenues, we just got our pill payment. That was for $969,000. We budgeted $940,000. So we actually have a revenue come in that's over what we budgeted for. But yeah, we're behind on hotel motel tax, things like that. So when we get these numbers, they'll have more value for comparison purposes. The one thing is, I just had a call with the city of Quincy. And they just discovered the negative tax collections for June. And they're wondering what happened. So I called her because these are the things I've been harping on for a long time of communication from the assessor to give a heads up to their taxing districts who are getting impacted by all these refunds. I told her this, you got to go straight to her. Ask her why she's not feeling this is important to you and let them know. And also give them a heads up about all the other ones that haven't been resolved yet. I don't know what they are. I can't talk to these taxing districts because I have no data.
Right.
So I can't give them that. But also, I also told her another big factor is with all these valuation reductions for the data centers, if those continue for next year, they may not have any growth in their value. Their value may be less next year because of all these changes of value. Plus, also, because we have a whole bunch of corrected amounts of lowering of data centers for 2025, you may not see a negative number, but you're going to be impacted by not getting as much as you're expecting by the rest of the year. So I told her, you need to focus on your tax receivables. We put a lot of, if you see a whole bunch of cancels, that's reducing the amount of revenue we can collect for you. And you need to be concentrating on that as well. And need to start making plans now of how much it's going to impact your budget. Because they were getting worried. So I just said, visit conversations with the assessor. Because then we don't even get told either. We don't know how much these impacts are coming in. And how much our budget, right now I'm projecting over $3 million short. So this is not.
Okay, so is it the assessor's responsibility? I guess I'm just trying to figure out. So that would be
It's the responsibility of the person who has the knowledge.
Okay, to share that with.
I don't have the knowledge of what's happening out there. They do. They know what's in the BLA. They know what's coming up. They know how big.
But the city of Quincy could also reach out to the assessor's office and just.
And they did.
Okay.
But, you know, if you have that knowledge, a simple email, hey, this is coming down the pipe.
Okay.
But
So it's important that the assessor's office and the treasurer's office communicate regularly.
And we're still.
Especially when it comes to these.
Our first round on the state assessed utilities is 100 refunds or 80, 90 refunds. And the rest of 412 new statements going out to the state assessed utilities. And this is just the first round. We believe that we got thousands to do.
But you don't know that for sure because you don't hear.
Because there's no, well, that's the thing is my emails too are asking how big the scope of this and how many does it impact. Those I don't know, and Matt doesn't know. She's doing them herself. What I've heard, and not having other employees do these fixes. Which then means depends on how much time she has to put towards it. And then they sent out a letter without consulting us because part of it impacted us, I had to tell them that this is not true. That's not the law of what was put in your letter. And it's just a matter of, I can't fix this. If she doesn't want to respond and tell us anything, let us know what's going on.
Okay, just sending an email to Missy.
So, and yeah, I'm trying to talk to the port again, see if she ever responded to them. Send another letter, because I've been talking to other treasurers on PAX now. And now they're really concerned about what our duties are when we don't use the software. But we do know that the assessors have the data, and we don't. And so we can't create something ourselves to make up for the lack of it not being done. So we're not sure. How do you, and the taxing districts on the TIF do not know how much they're going to lose this year. They haven't been told.
And it's July.
Right. And even if, and that's the thing, the port doesn't know. So even if she doesn't communicate with the taxing districts, then if the port knew, they could communicate.
What's the cutoff date for those things to happen?
Well, supposedly we're going to be transferring money at the end of the year since we didn't use the software. And PAX and the other counties aren't sure think the software is working. But there's nothing been inputted. So we don't know if she's choosing to ever use the software. Because it would be then make everything convenient to my office. Because the software gives us the data and we use it. So there's
that.
So I believe the next meeting is August 26th. That'll be really tight regarding some information, but I think we'll be in that morning from the state to have the information regarding the August numbers.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But that's all I have. But yeah, just we were supposed to have a meeting because the state this morning, the state SBI, a person that works in Yakima, they're supposedly changing the software. And it didn't look like the software impacted us. But Warden seems to be the guinea pig of this state.
Warden?
Yeah.
I know.
Isn't that weird?
And we're still trying to figure out how in the heck does it impact us? And then if this is happening, how will it impact every county in the state? But that meeting got canceled this morning. So we're still trying to figure out why us on that. So, but Carrie's been on the Will Clemmer situation. Carrie has been putting in a lot of time with the entries to get everything caught up and get the warrants caught up to get it starting balances and start really verifying that all balances are carried over correctly and start going to the next phase. Carrie's been really working hard on this project.
I don't envy you guys at all.
And of course, I sent the email to you regarding the law change regarding sales tax and software services. How everything will go up 8.4% on your bills that are for service time. October 1st, Will Clemmer, I said, forward you the Will Clemmer.
4%.
No, the rate is 8.4. 8.4% is the freight of sales tax rate. So all the bills that are generated for work in October on will be that much higher.
And why are they not now? I don't understand that.
They were given exemptions all these years.
Oh, so now that's it.
I mean, of all things.
So I don't know if this law, because for long ago, I said that we should be having attorney services be subject to sales tax, because they weren't. I don't know if the law fixed that yet. Because that's a service that is used a lot by many different income levels.
It's true.
So, all right. I don't have anything more.
Okay, Mandy. rolling over.
Hello. So I wasn't able to get the month-end reports finished. Hopefully I'll have them before the end of this week. I'm just finalizing some transfer activity and then I can hopefully run it as long as it looks good, reconciled. So, but I did give you some interim reports in the meantime. The first page is a budget summary by fund. For current expense, it is broken out by department, but I didn't have time to give the description, so it's just by the number.
Yeah, we can do comparables. Anything, so now that you know the numbers probably better than we do, can you point out anything that we really need to be paying attention to?
Nothing jumps out to me as far as.
Daryl's gone in case you didn't hear that. Quiet.
Mandy, do you have a copy that we could take?
I am working on formatting it to send to you, yes. Okay. Yeah, the copies, if I sent it now, you'd have a weird format, so, okay. Yeah, I will make sure you get it though. Our largest payments were related to our debt service payments that we paid in June. The interest only, I think for Grant Canyon is only like about $3 million in debt payments for interest. The largest being criminal justice. And then we had our Fair and Mac.
What's our 108 account?
That is Renew.
Okay.
And
Lucky Renew.
yeah, when I was reconciling, the largest difference I found was just related to those bond payments. So most of the activity in here is fairly accurate. The second page that you have is the revenues, and then the final page, it doesn't say expenses, but it's type 5. So that's the expense pivot table by fund and department.
You did your best.
I did my best.
We've got a lot going on, guys.
Yeah.
Trying to get quarterlies done. And
No, I have not.
I do appreciate that. It's kind of nice to see where the overtime is happening and where we're at.
I could run, I don't think I have to. I can run it and send it to you if you'd like a snapshot.
That would be nice. Send it to all 3 of us.
I know that,
Or all 4 of us. Send it to Caitlin too, please.
yes, in April, we had pointed out the sheriff's office had like almost 70% of their overtime for the year. And I know, Under Sheriff Mansford was looking into that and doing some comparisons with overtime. He felt that number was a little inflated.
Well, and also they're contracted, is it Warden, Soap Lake, that maybe they didn't have the full, anyway, yeah, they were gonna look into it.
Yeah, the Soap Lake contract is new. One thing that they were thinking about doing was actually, instead of having the overtime money that comes in go to a revenue, reducing the expenses related to that so that it's not actually hitting against their overtime for budget purposes. That was one thing we discussed. But as far as I know, I haven't heard anything back if there's been any significant errors.
I know they were gonna look into it.
But I do think it is probably accurate overtime. Our office has had some significant numbers.
Of course.
Months. Okay.
That we didn't budget for.
I don't think, I'm trying to remember if there was another department that might have been experiencing similar overtime. I know, is it licensing?
Licensing, yeah, it's in ours. Well, combined with Felicity's change in her position and, office downstairs. It's had overtime because Kyra has collected too much comp time to try to keep everything flowing and running. So we have a significant amount on overtime we've had to pay out in our office, more than what we had budgeted for. But I think we'll still probably be fine.
And that's for the, licensing and recording.
Well, licensing, yeah, mostly in licensing, it's mostly Kyra that's maxed out on her comp that she can accumulate, so we're having to pay it paid out in overtime. And then Felicity that we didn't, because she was in a different, she was exempt, and then we had to move her to non-exempt. So now she is working overtime with Tyler and
Okay.
everything else we've got going on with all these audits that we've had. It's just, it's a lot. We've had a lot thrown at us in the last couple of years. It's just been.
You may have that issue as well regarding comp time. Well, we'll probably have that. It's
Yeah.
likely we'll have that issue on comp time that we won't be able to do this.
Yeah.
And we'll be.
And then you'll have to pay it out.
So is it, we talk to HR first about the process of paying comp time as overtime versus carrying over a certain amount or?
Well, there's that, I can't remember what the next is, it's like 40 for comp, 40, and I know Kyla's well over 40.
You can only have 40 hours of comp.
And then it should be paid out.
Yeah, you don't want it to get too high because if people say that, then 2 years from now, when they've had several increases, you're paying out at a higher rate. And it just compounds.
That makes sense.
No, we need to deal with it this year.
Yeah, so we just need to pay it out and put it on your payroll.
But we just, is it HR that has to approve the payout? Who approves the payout?
You do,
You
Daryl.
do, Daryl.
Okay, so it's not
You do.
HR is not,
No,
No.
Okay.
No, this is just something that you have to do to comply with policy.
okay. All right.
Daryl, did you have, you said you didn't know our cash balance, or you do?
I didn't, well, I stopped producing that number since it was always on your reports.
That's
Great.
That's
But we were still way over from a year ago of our cash balance. I think it was around 8 million more. If I remember right, it was a long time since I looked at the end of June numbers.
Yeah, we still haven't spent down that surplus that we got at the end of 2024. But hold on, I do have it available.
Because I didn't know some of, we talked about the one transfer, but we had other transfers yet that we were talking about that weren't the one about the going to the one account that we discussed in the past. But we still had other transfers I thought were out there that.
Yes, we do have some significant operational transfers that have not yet been done. Hopefully we can get those done before the end of August. But I mean, current expense is sitting at 28 million.
I believe the number from a year ago was under 21.
At this time last year.
Yeah, I believe that June ending was under 21 million. If I remember visualizing, looking at that, because that's when I get the reports, one of the first things I do,
Compare it.
even though Connie yells at me, get this done, is I start comparing numbers.
I
The
don't
key,
remember what I did yesterday.
it's just it's a natural curiosity of always seeing, have we got this number down yet? And so, and then Connie says, get to work, quit just playing with the numbers, it's just start reviewing everything to see if you agree with these numbers.
Criminal justice, sales and use taxes at 14.5 million.
You mean the balance, cash flow? Right. Yeah, and we got a debt payment though. We have a big,
That's after the debt payment,
well, that's the
interest.
We have
the principal in
we have a
December.
December, yeah, we have the
Yes.
big one.
Yes, 5 million.
That's what the principal's, yeah.
I mean, that still leaves 9 million.
Right, plus the monies that come in. So,
I don't see any balances that are really jumping out to me. Our bond jail construction at the end of June is sitting at about 6.8 million. How much do we have estimated left on the project?
6.8.
68 million.
Okay.
Sorry. Yeah.
So we just deposited, well, how much?
I don't know. Like I said.
Our bond was, we had
how much for the morgue? What was our total bond debt
I thought
closing?
Can't remember.
80 something? Or what are we talking about, the total amount or just for the morgue?
That's for the morgue, was
Well,
yeah.
8 million, and
8
then,
million.
but then we had a bond closing for
It was 50
68,
something.
68 million?
That, I think that was total.
Right, which then 60 million
Yeah,
go in the fund.
You're right.
If you're saying there's 68 million at the end of June, that means our balance is down to 8 million. I didn't think we're that low
What do you mean?
of remaining money, because if,
After the bonds?
well, after the money got deposited,
How much was in there before the deposit?
well, if the deposit around 60 million, that means there was only 8 million sitting in there. And I
If the
didn't think it
balance
was
is
that low.
68,
That can't be right.
you know what I mean, Gene?
What? What, no, I didn't hear what you said.
So the balance would have been 8 million prior to that bond
And you
closing.
think that was low? It should have been higher?
Yeah, I didn't think it was that low. I
Okay,
didn't think
so
we were that tight.
Does seem like it's low.
I thought we were like 20 million more than that. at
Well,
least.
that's your cash sheet number,
I'll take that.
and I reconciled it, I didn't have.
Daryl, because that's a little,
Oh, I'll look at it. I just gotta remember the bond amount and
When did we deposit that? May, March, April? What? I don't remember. April or May, right?
well, if it was May, maybe we had some big withdrawal, expenses paid in June.
well, the jail.
And then-
Sure, we've had some.
That could very well.
And then, and then the number, you know, because, but in May, it
Okay.
wasn't, that wasn't that one. So we must have had some big payments in June.
Let me check March. Just-
So we need to make sure there's funds available to do the mark.
Well,
We
the
would
March
move
is a
that to
separate
the
fund.
March.
The March is a separate fund.
Okay.
So how's the contract?
I think we've been under. Are we going through it
Do we,
faster?
do we have the building plan created yet?
Oh, for the
No,
morgue?
they were having meetings last week on that.
Okay, I thought you were talking about the
It's
jail.
moving along.
Okay,
Actually,
you know, that's a good spot.
I think
It's, of course,
Where's it
in
gonna
front,
be?
is in front of the spot I was pushing. Just behind that spot, which was, I thought we could get cheaper, but then you have gravel roads. So
yeah, no,
what you're paying for is immediate access when it's built. And without the cost of improving roads and whatever the city else would have required to be done. So it
Oh, on
probably,
Kittleson?
that cost probably would have been offset of my getting lower price on the lots behind with the cost the city would have asked us to pay to improve that property back.
So, before we deposit that money in March, we were at about 27 million in the construction, but we spent 60 million to date in the construction
Dang.
fund through June. So,
Tom has a pretty good, Tom should have a pretty good accounting because he will tell us when something is lower or higher, so.
so since that, when we had 27 million, we had only spent not even 300,000
Oh,
in March.
oh, in
Yeah,
March.
so, yeah.
Now, yeah, I wasn't focused on the jail one,
But no.
but still have a lot of money, it's still going, that's why, that's why we have to have so much in cash. But we also have a lot of investments that are gonna mature this year. And
That's-
we're gonna be replacing those with things that are a lot better rate than what we got in the past. So that'll be encouraging with their interest rate going up on the pool and getting good replacements.
Are we gonna start to charge special districts for services?
Are you talking about the cost recovery bill that did not pass? Or are you talking about special assessments that we
Not
already?
assessments, just for financial services.
The treasurers presented a bill that got blasted by fire districts in a committee hearing and didn't go any further. So there is no bill working, and now the proposed bill.
We still can,
We
yeah.
still can.
There's certain
We
things
just
that
have
we
it.
do from our office that we can charge them for.
So we were wanting to charge our districts for a lot of services and then let the districts have the ability to recover it on refund levy. But the problem is the state wasn't in the equation, and they're the biggest cost to us. And biggest entity, we do services for. The state charges us, but we aren't allowed to charge them. And that's what, the bill doesn't mean anything to me if we don't charge the state.
Yeah, we need to look at it and just come up with
A fair number.
their numbers, see what everybody else is doing, and we should just start charging. I know they're not gonna be happy, but.
We could cut you like 1 or 2% of it.
I don't know if you're aware that Sultan County, Concord County has a Medi cash problem. They're having major cuts.
Who is
Of
this?
which, Wahkiakum County, that's a county right before Clark County, of which they're making major cuts in county roads and the courthouse, and having the treasurer go from 2.5 people in the office to 1.5 people in the office.
Oh, goodness.
I feel sorry for that
And
person that's getting
somehow,
cut in half.
how
Yeah.
are you supposed to function?
I don't know, cause
And so there's
I
because,
think there's other counties that are in dire
but
situation.
you depend on federal dollars for timber.
Oh, yeah.
And
just
that's
wanna
one of the
reiterate.
places that got cut.
How grateful we are in Grant County that we are doing well.
That's very
Our
true.
diverse revenue streams.
Yeah, we don't have a timber tax. So I never had to learn it. Of which then, I also say, they keep talking about timber tax in treasurer's meeting, I said, boy, I wish we had a tree in our
We
county.
need a sagebrush. Well, I feel like we do have a sagebrush.
Yeah.
Yeah, first there is no timber tax on fruit orchards.
Like Cindy said.
And then only timber technically is up north at the very top. And that's not enough to have a tax calculated on it.
Crazy.
Cause it's really starting to get trees by the time you get
Yeah.
to Cooley, and then it's like.
One there,
We're
one
done.
there.
So, but we have a lot of counties that are dependent on federal dollars.
Yeah.
I also told them yesterday in my meeting, Mattawa, they're having a lot of federal dollar cuts. They're already talking about being short this month and getting worse. They have to make some drastic cuts without these monies. So treasurer's opinion, and treasurer's opinion is SBI should be the one that provides the funding and the loans and all this kind of stuff. They shouldn't be put on the burden of the county to keep schools open.
Amen.
But that's what that's right now, everyone's depending on the treasurers to keep them open. And saying some counties don't even have the dollars to do that. But then we don't want to open that door.
I will say Mattawa did get a large increase with the Wassel. Is that what it's called? Happened so long ago, the Wassel.
The Wassel testing?
Yes. Years ago, because they had so few that passed it. So their funding got like double what some of the other counties because of the need for increased teachers. And so per student, I believe Mattawa is one of our highest per student costs.
But they have also the highest per student revenue because they get additional funding for migrant and Hispanic and those special demographics. So they don't get the basic enrollment, they get the enhanced enrollment revenues too.
So looking at, and it was per student in Grant County, they were one of the highest paid per student, or they received. So, but yes, hopefully the superintendent and those that are working on the budget can make the necessary cuts or whatever's needed so that it does not fall on the
It's
county.
hard to get teachers in that rural area.
Yeah, it is.
I know a lot of people, right, when they come out of CW or Central Western or Eastern, they go there for 1 or 2 years, so they get that experience. Then they ditch them to go to Mosley.
Yeah, kind of a training ground. But anyway, we'll have to see. Fingers
Yeah,
crossed.
it's a
Is there
training
anything
school.
else for our county budget?
No, I was gonna summarize I didn't realize it didn't have our total expenses to date for this current expense. I was gonna provide that figure. I'm having a hard time pulling up the file, technology. I don't know, Darryl, what do you think? 30 million, 32 million?
Yeah.
All I know is I'm starting to grow a mustache.
Someone's trying to grow his mustache. Is that what you
There's a part I want in the upcoming play of Little Shop of Horrors.
said? Oh,
The character is just a bad
Things to do.
business owner, flower shop owner.
Oh,
I
there's a
think
shyster.
a mustache would make me look more bumbling idiot.
Mandy, did you get a number there?
I got it, 1 second.
Okay.
You know, they make this thing called a fake mustaches.
I don't.
Put spirit gum there.
No, I am not I am a realistic actor. That's why the show.
A method actor.
That's why the show opens in October. I should have a pretty one grown
No.
by then.
What was it?
If I don't get the part, then I shave it off and in the auditions in less than 3 weeks from now.
Mandy got a number, what?
35.3 million, 35.4 million. Which is a little more than 50%, which is good. I mean, at least we're not at like 7%.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else? All right, it is 11:51. Whoops, that
I
was-
said not this time.
Okay, it's 11:51. We're in recess until 1 o'clock. We will have the Superior Court update. Good afternoon. It is 1:02. We are here with Superior Court for our, I think, bi-weekly update.
Yes.
Welcome.
Thank you. It's good to see you all. I haven't been here for a few weeks. Yeah. So just a couple updates. Not sure if you've been informed that we are no longer going to be doing truancy court at the juvenile. The laws had changed and we are receiving no more funding for truancy. And it's changed quite a bit the last few years anyway, where the court didn't have much power over these children. They used to be able to require them to write reports and follow up with them. And there really just hasn't been any authority the court could hold over these children. So with the funding going away, we've decided to just not have truancy court anymore. So that will be a change, but I'm not quite sure what the schools will still have some type of truancy that they do internally. The court just will no longer be involved. So that is a change that's coming in September. So
That'll save you guys some work.
yeah, we have plenty of other things to be doing. That's just one of our changes. There is a new criminal rule that's going into effect in September where we have to start arraigning individuals within 72 hours. Currently, it's within 14 days. So that is going to be a huge change that we're trying to figure out how we're going to do that. We're going to have to do court time every day now for arraignments or figure out something.
Currently, it's 14 days. you
Yes.
said? Okay,
Now it's
72
70,
hours
yep.
to 14 days.
Yeah. So we are going to meet with Brandon and Brett Hill after a few weeks after Brandon's been here and figure out what we're going to do. Because a public defender has a huge burden of getting a public defender appointed on these cases right away, where currently they don't have to until arraignment. So I'm not quite sure how this is all going to work out.
It'd be a nightmare.
What happens if there's a
Yes.
holiday? Let's just say they were arrested on a Friday, there's a holiday, Monday, so.
So that's their initial appearance, which
Okay.
is their very first appearance that they have. And their arraignment is their second hearing. And so right
Okay,
now,
so the
so
first
yes, so we initially see them for their initial appearance
So
and
the
then they
first
go on to their
appearances,
arraignment hearing, which usually is set 14 days after their initial appearance. Now it has to be within 72 hours. So
Whose big idea was that?
who
Legislature?
knows? Yes, yeah, not ours. Supreme Court. Someone much higher than us. I don't think they
You can
think
tell I
about
have
the,
not gone through the court system.
yeah. You know, think about the consequences that has on these small public defender's offices. So I'm not quite sure. We haven't had a chance to speak with Brett about it to see what the impact will be on his office.
Yeah, so what happens if you don't make that cutoff time? Then you let them go?
I would assume so. They'll have to dismiss the case, the state will. So, yeah. This could have huge impacts. So we'll figure out something with everyone. The prosecutor has the ability to hold someone and then file a case within 2 or 3 days. So there might be a little bit of that that's going to be going on to comply with the 72-hour rule. So there's different ways to kind of get around it, but we'll just have to have some sort of policy in place that we all follow. So that will be a big
More to
impact.
come, okay.
Yes, yes, always
Some exciting
changes.
news. Wow.
Mm-hmm, yeah. Other than that, the new interpreter law went into place just this past Friday, so we have to start supplying free interpreters for all case types for everything, even if they're a witness. So we don't know the impact of that yet, obviously, since that just went into effect this past Friday. So that's something that we're also anticipating, and we'll see what happens with that.
And how many interpreters do you guys have to have?
It depends. If it's just a normal law and motion hearing, we just have one interpreter present. If it's a full day hearing or a trial, we have to have 2 or 3 interpreters present because they have all these rules that they have to follow, where they can only interpret for 20 minutes and then they have to have a 30-minute break. And so it's a lot. Mm-hmm.
And different languages?
Yes, yep, all languages. Mm-hmm. And we're trying to also interpret the rule right now for juvenile, the parents, they just use a qualified interpreter that's up there. And the way the rule reads, we may have to start having a certified interpreter for the parents that are just sitting in the back of the courtroom, listening to the proceedings. So we're just trying to figure all this out and what our obligation is. It's going to be a big change.
It's probably easier for some of the bigger cities, but for us rural guys, that's pretty hard to find interpreters that know different languages.
Yeah. Thankfully, Jose, who is not only our Spanish interpreter, but also our coordinator, he has a great relationship with interpreters all over the state, but a majority of them appear via Zoom. But it does keep the cost down because we don't have to pay for their travel here. So that is nice. But there's always a 2-hour minimum, even if it's for a 5-minute hearing. We get charged for 2 hours at a rate of sometimes $150 an hour. So you're paying $300 for a 5-minute hearing. So
the plan is to break the system.
Yeah, maybe. It's tough being on this level. All these laws pass, and then we're stuck with trying to figure out how we're gonna follow them and apply them.
Our county's probably gonna be okay. It's the Adams County, Lincoln County.
Yeah.
Douglas will probably be okay, but Stevens County, Ferry County, I don't know how they're gonna do it.
Yeah. I also am looking at it from the standpoint of scheduling and these people that just show up that we're not aware that need an interpreter. And I think it's going to start delaying a lot of cases because right now we had a system in place where people had to fill out a waiver for fees. So then we knew at least that somebody needed an interpreter, whether it was at our cost or theirs. Well, now that that's eliminated, since everyone gets a free interpreter, we don't even know these cases that may need one. And they're going to show up and we're not going to have one. It's going to delay cases. I think there's a big problem on the horizon that we're trying to figure out how we're going to work through that.
Sorry.
Just take it day by day. That's what I always say. Figure out what the problems are and try to fix them as we go. That's really all I have.
Well, on that happy note, okay, I'm sure we'll be hearing more, probably a budget extension needed.
Yes, maybe. I'm hoping not, but.
It is 1:09, is there anything else? Barb?
No, I was gonna push the button.
Oh, okay, it's 1:10, we are in recess until 1:15 when we meet with the district court. Good afternoon, it is 1:15, we are here with district court for our bi-weekly update, welcome. Did Superior Court, the district court get hit with the everyone gets a free interpreter as well as Superior Court?
I mean, we've kind of already had that, so nothing really is changing for us. We've always provided interpreters for everything.
What's really different for them is the private stuff, where ours, we don't have the abundance
Okay.
of that. So I think we won't see it as being a big issue in our court. Still will be an issue, like civil, but a lot of the civil cases don't use an interpreter.
Yeah, and we don't generally know, because we just have the petitioner at the front counter. We don't know if the respondent is gonna need an interpreter or not. So we could have cases that would need to be reset, but we have a Spanish interpreter at least on standby for those dockets if one is needed every week. So.
Okay, just wondering if there was an impact to your office as well.
So yeah, shouldn't be a huge factor for us. I mean, it might be occasionally, but
Apparently, like youth services, they've got to provide an interpreter for the families sitting in the courtroom.
and they usually have, if they have someone available, just.
Yes, but now I think they have to be court certified. They were checking into that.
Yeah, it's gonna put a big burden on a lot of the courts.
And there's more of an emphasis for like pairs of interpreters too.
They're trying to figure out a different alternative. There's a bunch of committees with the courts trying to figure out how do we make this work, because some of them don't have the money to do it. And some of them don't have the resources to do it. Some of them don't have the interpreters to do it. So I just was in a meeting the other day with Pasco Municipal, and they were like, we can't get anybody. So I'm reluctant to say, yeah, we might have a few days here, because then I don't want to lose the people we have. So it's kind of, people get a little selfish with their interpreters, because we kind of have a pretty good luxury of who we do have. Mainly because the community we're in, we need it desperately here. Yeah.
And the nature of our dockets allows us to not require 2 interpreters for every docket, because their standards are generally, if they're interpreting for more than 15 minutes consecutively, that they need to have a break. And so they try to have 2 interpreters. So for trials, a lot of times we'll do that, but all, like our public defender docket, very rarely is somebody's case going to go over 15 minutes and they're going to call someone else who's likely not going to need an interpreter. They get a break until their next case is called. So we've so far been able to get away with just 1 interpreter for those dockets. But we'll have to see what the full impacts are later.
Our current interpreter situation is, I think there was somebody who just became certified.
Ben, I believe.
Yeah.
AOC court certified,
Yeah,
which
so
is
he
different from just certified.
Yeah, so he's, I don't know if that means he'll go to bigger and better things now, but he's one of 2 that we have available. And then there's also an intern working with the current place now, so it's nice to see faces.
There's been some changes too regarding the interpreter language to say qualified interpreters over certified interpreters sometimes. And how that's going to be applied will be interesting, because we're part of a interpreter reimbursement program. So if we use certified interpreters, we get reimbursed 50% up to a max dollar amount that we're awarded every year, which changes every year. And with the change of language, that could open up to where if the interpreters are qualified, which they should be if we're using them, that we could potentially get reimbursement, but that doesn't just mean that there's more funding available for reimbursement. So how AOC is actually going to work that language change as far as like the practical side for the reimbursement program, we don't know, but it could, there could be potential of more funding in the future for the interpreters.
Did you guys have any questions from the presentation the other day? We did send it
Well,
in.
yes, yeah.
Okay, yes.
But mine was mostly dealing with district court or Superior Court.
Oh, okay.
Because we are basically provide oversight to Swahil for the supervisory component of Swahil. She does not report to the Superior Court judges. So it kind of threw a red flag, like, oh, maybe we shouldn't be, since we are a legislative branch of the government.
Yeah, I don't know about that works.
So that was a red flag that we've been looking into.
And she wanted, I think, still wanted to come and keep us informed as well, Sahel.
Okay. We did reach out to HR. They do want to meet, so we just thought it'd be good to present it all again. So I'm shooting for like what we did before. It doesn't look like Superior Court's probably gonna join with us, because it doesn't really have as, in my mind, doesn't have as big a bearing on them, just limited amount of employees they deal with technically, because where they're different is they have their own, well, they don't have their own, the clerk's office is separate where our clerks are part of that. So probably just be us judges and then presenting to you guys again if you guys have questions, and then doing a similar presentation with HR. I can do it separate if you guys don't want to be part of that again.
No,
I think it's good for all of us to
Okay,
know.
fair enough. So I was thinking the 12th or the 26th, which would be our next times, but I don't know if we would need a full half an hour, but we could probably talk to Superior Court and take their extra time if they're willing to give it.
They'd probably be willing to give it up.
Yeah.
Well, this fair week, so those meetings are canceled.
Okay, fair enough. So it'd be the 20, it'd be the earliest, probably the 26th, because I don't want to overly burden. Yeah, 26 work. Let's just tentatively plan that.
So I guess just, because I still have more questions than I have answers
Yes.
on that. So if there's an HR issue, I'm gonna call it an HR issue, an employee issue that needs resolved, would your office handle it, or would it go through HR? How would you handle it?
So essentially, we handle everything except anything that concerns wages or benefits related to wages. That's essentially what it is. Now, a lot of people can cooperate with their HR as much as you want to. So some people cooperate, like when we asked other counties and municipalities, what are you doing? What's happening? Most of them have a common understanding that they'll help us with this when needed. If they don't need it, then they don't need it. If they do need it, they do need it. And we had the memorandum of understanding to kind of get to where we're at with that. But the problem is when we get to a situation where there's something new that's brought out to the entire county, such as training, which was one of the examples I brought up, then it creates a problem again, like where do we stand here? So that's where like educating them is part of our job as the judiciary to take care of that. And then also then coming to some sort of understanding of where we're at, what we think is appropriate. And most of the time, we may be on the same page, sometimes
Well, I
not.
hope we are, because I think you're using the same computer system that we all are.
Yeah,
I mean, there's things, I don't think we're trying to do an overreach,
Yeah.
but we've had some situations where like, we have the cyber security because we've had a couple breaches and.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just.
Well, and so, you know, the interesting thing about that is I did a lot of research after our meeting about how often these things are being recommended, because what we have to take into account is how much time our clerks are spending on this. And if you really look at it, what is being offered at this point is an 8-hour day. So you're losing 30 clerks, you're losing 30 days of work. Granted, we do probably want them to have a lot of that training, but some of that training's already been done with what they've already been brought in for before the training was announced. Some of it's recommended, a lot of them are recommended every 3 to 5 years. So I don't see why we would need to do it every year. And then we have other trainings that are recommended every year. I question why they are, because some of them are like workplace safety. It's like, well, we're just watching a video and doesn't really relate to where we're actually at, you know? If we're on the 3rd floor, are they gonna talk about safety ladders, you know? I don't know, I haven't seen it yet. So it's just some of those things that we want to evaluate. I have a list of questions, and I'm sure the other judges do, about how to evaluate what we would do in the future with, and how much training do we really need. So, but just want to have a conversation with them about that.
And I think a lot of that just comes down to like the communication and comprehension piece too. Like if we understood why certain trainings were being offered, you know, if we were communicated with on how that was going to be presented, that might have changed our response to it.
Well, and as I
For what
said
it's
before, it's hard to accommodate every organization. You know, when an email gets sent out, we understand that it's probably globally being sent out to apply to most everybody. We understand that part. Just, that's why we need to have that understanding at some point. And that's what the plan is. So if we can tentatively set that up for the 26th, and again, if you guys have questions about it, we're willing to field those at that time or even before then.
Yeah, no, I think it's good for all of us to get together.
Want a bottle of water?
Oh, I have something here. I don't, something just got in my throat, so. Sitting over here dying, sorry about that. We were talking about allergies, everything in the air.
Can I
Yes,
interrupt for a moment?
please
So,
do.
I just got off the phone with the Department of Justice on that grant. It was something on their end. I had to go into Teams, share my screen. She looked through, she goes, well, what's wrong with that? Oh, hold on, I have to click here. So she clicked 3 or 4 buttons. And then she said, well, now you can input your,
To be able to do the
yeah.
grant modification.
Yeah. Well, no, I couldn't do that yet.
But just the
So,
narrative of that
Couldn't even do
section.
that yet.
Oh my gosh,
There's
okay.
another button they've got to
Holy
push.
moly.
So had to go in and work on 2 or 3 different screens. Doing what? It seemed like semantics to me. It was just like, well, this is the same thing. Then she asked me to cut and paste from a letter into a field, save that. Then she told me to take that and put it on letterhead and sign it and then attach it. So it was like, okay, I just put it in that field and now you want me to take what I just cut and paste or copied and pasted, put it on letterhead and put it in another area. So she's got that now, but it sounds like that budget will be approved.
Okay.
But now they have to review the scope change.
Okay.
Because they didn't understand what the work was and they consider it a complete scope change. So now we're waiting on that.
Okay.
But we're miles ahead of where we were.
Yes.
It's true.
It's
true.
amazing when
Any-
you work
any
with someone
progress is
different, how
progress.
much differently things can work.
I don't know that she's been that helpful, but
Oh,
it's
okay.
been better.
Well, it's been better than the other person.
She answers calls and she goes to meetings,
Yeah,
so.
that's good.
Yeah.
Do we have anything else? I don't think we have anything else. So.
Okay, one more to come on the topic then. It is 1:27. We are in recess until 1:30 when we meet with the prosecuting attorney's office. Good afternoon. It is 1:30. We are here at the prosecuting attorney's office for our weekly update. Welcome.
Okay.
We have a new employee here with you. Should introduce us.
I think everybody knows.
Don't make assumptions.
Commissioner Jones is now online.
Okay, I guess we'll start out with Missy's issue, whatever that is. We need an executive session, is that correct?
Okay, so we'll go into executive session from 1:31 to 1:37. We'll give us 5.5 minutes. And it will be, thank you, Kevin, personnel disciplinary matters, RCW 423110 1F.
Barb will fix it.
I know, like, we don't know where we're at, but we're backstage somewhere, backstage at some concert.
Okay, next topic, Barb asked us to discuss the admin part of the opioid litigation. Apparently, we're getting new settlements coming in. I'm not quite sure who's on the email lists anymore. It's been a while, so we probably need to update that and update who can sign those things.
I think as of right now, I'm the main contact, because it used to be Jerry.
Okay.
Now it's me.
So it's come to you, okay?
But the last time one of those contracts got signed, the board gave Jerry for the consent agenda request to digitally sign those. It's about 100 and some pages long, so we can either print it all out for the chair to sign, or we can digitally sign that. But I forwarded the board the email, I think, yesterday or Friday. And do you want to participate in this settlement? I forwarded it to Dell as well.
Did you want to give your recommendation?
I mean, I would say you should participate in the settlement, just because the odds of you going off and the odds of something the size of the county going off and taking on this lawsuit on our own is minuscule, just not gonna happen. So might as well get something out of it.
9 additional opioid settlements that cities and counties can join. Purdue.
Okay, so we'll follow the recommendation of,
I mean, it obviously it's up to you, but I would suggest you put it on the consent agenda
Absolutely.
and then however you want to sign it.
Yes, so that's the question. Do you want to allow your clerk to digitally sign as was done in the past, or would you like everything printed for you to sign? Either way is totally fine.
I think the clerk can sign it. I'm happy with the clerk signing.
So we'll put that on the consent for next week.
Do you want me or do you want to talk about Ramos and Gray?
Okay, so for litigation, Ramos, the lady who drove her car off the end of the road, I told you a while back that a couple weeks ago, that we won the summary judgment. They, of course, appealed, so that will be, another year and a half before we find out how that appeal turns out. And then in Gray, which is the dog case, with the lady with the arm, they entered the judgment. I believe Clear Risk is planning on paying that if they haven't already. So that should be done. I don't think we haven't heard the other side is planning to appeal yet. They could.
They have 30 days to.
Yeah, from the judgment.
We haven't heard that they plan to.
If they do, we'll do what's called a cross appeal so we can raise our issues. But as we sat down and went over it with everybody, we kind of agreed, Clear Risk kind of agreed that the best part is to pay the bill and let it go rather than continue it on.
I think that's kind of what Blair said as well.
Yep.
Okay. Any questions on those?
Not for me.
No, I'm just trying to make sure my questions that I had for you were answered. I think they are. And I sent an email FYI to HR, to Gina, so.
Okay.
Big as possible.
Okay, please.
So Kevin, more administrative, your cancellation of your bond.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I got it.
If not, I have another copy.
Okay.
If you want to just fill it out.
Anyway,
And Brandon, thank you. I got your paperwork in.
You're welcome.
Be bonded, you can be a bondsman.
Yes.
And Rebecca, I didn't know, it's a lot, the military department with MAC, have you had a chance to review it?
I have
It's
not
only been
had,
a couple days,
yeah.
so,
I've not had a chance to review, and just let you know, I've gotten a ton of contract work. So I haven't even had time to sit down and input the contracts into my spreadsheet.
Totally understand.
So.
Thank you.
And Rebecca, you could be like, I've got like 2 bosses going on right now, all right?
I'm trying very hard not to step.
Well, it would be a great excuse.
No, I literally have just gotten for what, well, I guess like July, it's just for whatever reason, first of the year and mid-year, it's contracts, seasons. You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay.
is that it, Barb?
That's it, yes,
Okay.
thank you.
Anything for us?
Unless there's any other questions?
I don't think that's it.
Maybe it's just 12 o'clock.
When's your last day, Kevin?
Friday. Well,
Friday?
Sunday technically.
Oh.
Sunday, 11:59, or
And
11:59.
I'm gonna call him at 11:58.
Problem.
We got 1 minute, hurry, I need to resolve.
I scheduled a swearing in ceremony for 8:15 on Monday, so.
My son,
Where are you doing that at?
Courtroom 2 with Judge Gelati.
Would the board like that on your calendar?
Yes, please.
You're not gonna leave
If
us
they're
out, right?
invited anyway, I guess.
So
Of
we're
course.
prosecuted, he knows who we are.
We should verify that everyone's invited before we invite.
Everyone's invited.
Okay, 8:15 courtroom
2.
2 over there.
Yes, in the
Okay,
Superior Court
gotcha.
building.
Okay.
And you didn't want to do that earlier? Like this week?
I can't.
You can.
Yes, you can.
You got a week's leeway.
Oh, all right, well.
So you can do that, so you can take, because when is it?
What's that? Yeah, you could do it anytime this week.
You,
Maybe I'll talk to Judge Gelati, see what her schedule is. We can change it.
Yeah, because then, because there could be a gap of,
Then there's no little 8 hour, I mean, they are probably.
a lot of the times, like the elected officials are sworn in the end of December, so that when the time comes, when midnight strikes.
you're ready to go.
Currently, it's set for Monday at 8:15, but I'll talk to Judge Gelati.
So if anything changes.
I'll email you.
let me know.
Yeah,
Perfect.
thank you.
A lot could happen.
And you're still invited.
Friday at 4:55.
We invited ourselves.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much. Unless there's anything else.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Kevin.
Thank you.
Thanks for serving.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for helping us.
I tried.
Bailing us out. What do you mean helping us? Thanks for bailing us out. Well, it is 1:50. We are in recess until 2 o'clock and we have our commissioners meeting. Good afternoon. It is 2 o'clock. We are here with the commissioners for our commissioners meeting. We'll call the meeting to order. We have open forum for public input, 3 minutes per person, 15-minute time limit. Do we have any public? None in this room. Do we have anybody online who would like to comment?
No one online today. Those are all panelists.
Okay, so I'm looking for approval of the agenda.
I move to approve the agenda as presented.
I'll second that.
There's been a motion and a second to approve the agenda. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 The agenda has been approved. Do we have any correspondence, emails, or letters of support that we need to address?
I do not.
Okay, moving along. The Commissioners Roundtable miscellaneous discussion. Has the Tourism Master Plan Survey distribution?
Oh, yes, sorry, it's word on there, weird. There's a tourism master plan open house tomorrow from 4 PM to 5 PM. Both virtual and in-person attendance options are available. We've sent out invites to a lot of entities, businesses and chambers of commerce, cities, that sort of thing. RSVP was not required, but it was requested. I have not received very many RSVPs, but it seems like a pretty decent assortment of people that have RSVP'd, so.
Where's that gonna be at?
It'll be here, so I'll be down here. I know Rob has a leaders roundtable, I think in Moses Lake at the same time, so I'll be here. I'm not sure if Mr. Beckwith will be here in person or via Zoom, but I believe he'll be via Zoom.
Okay, anything else? Tom has a walk-on. Tom, you want to talk about your walk-on right now?
Sure. The walk-on is the amendment to the jail's GMP contract, the guaranteed maximum price proposal. It's $2.5 million, a little bit more. I don't have the exact number in front of me. $2,552,937. That is adding the roundabout construction costs to the GMP for the jail.
Any other walk-ons? Okay. I don't think we have anything else for a roundtable consent agenda. We have.
Consent agenda, were there any items you guys discussed today that you were concerned about? There was one that I was curious what it was. I believe it was number 9.
Oh, yes, sorry, Rob. Last week when the commissioners signed the appointment letters for the homeless housing task force, I put the wrong name for the renew task force member. I put Diana instead of Le'Veon.
Oh, yeah.
So
Okay.
just correcting that.
Okay.
That was my only circle item. So we have 14 items.
Move to approve consent agenda items 1 through 14 as presented.
I'll second that.
There's been a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda items 1 through 14. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 Consent agenda items have been approved. And we have one walk-on for the jail GMP for the roundabout.
I'll move that we accept it.
I will second.
Is there a motion and a second to approve the walk-on, which is the jail GMP for 2.5 million and change for the roundabout construction? Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
The walk-on has been approved. So Rob, is it okay to stamp your name?
Yeah, stamp my name. Sorry I didn't come in today. I didn't feel good yesterday, and then I got my fever back, and so I just been dealing with that today.
Okay, we can sign.
We
We
got
can sign and we can stamp.
Hope you get better fast.
Dude, I don't know what happened, Tom. I feel good. I just have a headache.
It's been
and a
going around.
fever.
The
That's
headache
been
has
going around.
been going around. This is the walkout item. It'll just be Rob's signature on that first page. So I'll get that stamped in. Today is the 29th.
Thank you for the emergency management. I had to go over and get more forms. I didn't have the forms, or
Oh, yeah.
whatever the one brochure, because they had gotten them and they were in Spanish. So they were little packets, so
Yeah.
thank you. The packets were in there.
You're welcome. We always have more.
Have you been over to see the new space yet?
I haven't for a little bit. There was,
Looking a lot different now.
is it? When I went up, there was bars up, not walls yet.
Yep, the walls are up, they're
Yeah.
sheetrocking, so.
Have to take a little peek.
Yeah. I know it's getting closer. It's like, I gotta get rid of some of my office stuff. I don't really want to take that much up there.
You're getting all new stuff over there. so.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll be happy to know that, Sullivan County's having all kinds of issues with their jail.
The invoice
They
from
are.
RC Inc.
Like
for the
what?
consultant for the 5-year homeless housing benefit.
Contractors,
Agreement, use of county property.
they're having all kinds of problems with contractors.
I thought at the last, well, so a couple interesting things about that. So last minute, they did request some changes. And they have a commissioner running that whole thing. I don't know, his background was, he was a small contractor, so he decided he was gonna run the program. But I don't know, I can find out, I can get the details, the nitty gritty, so.
Yeah, why did we request not that our last meeting? They're having all kinds of problems.
I'm getting ready to invite their presiding judge up here, so.
Well, we just hit the jackpot with you, so thank you. for
Well,
your-
thank you. I don't know about that, but I'll take it. Anyway, yeah, I had not heard that.
Yeah, it's still not down there, but I'm sure when it's there.
Stevens County is pretty ecstatic right now. They're really glad that they went with Leidig. And I think the architect was too. The architect was really surprised.
Sort of appreciation for the advisory committee member.
Yeah.
Is that corrected reappointment letter for the homeless housing
They
task
do that
force?
kind of stuff. That's cool.
This is the Criminal Justice Training Commission Wellness
I'm gonna
Grant.
go back to the office. See you all later.
Amendment to the compensation connections contract for the job
I
description.
think that was it, right?
Yeah, just ready to go.
Okay.
Just hanging out.
Well, and you can call in too if you want.
Okay, I don't mind getting out of the
Okay.
office,
You're
yeah.
busting out, busting through.
Sometimes I show up a day early, sometimes I
Yeah.
show up on the right day.
Well, it's always good to see you.
Thank you, see you.
That's the resolution notice of hearing for the consideration of the ordinance amendment.
Have you started your, well, is this week is when you start your training or you're doing your
No,
little prep?
so tomorrow is the onboarding, the kickoff meeting, the
Okay.
webinar, and then this is a purchase order. And then the actual trainings start on August 11th. But I've done all of the pre-work stuff that I possibly can do all the way up until the webinar. So now I just sit and wait.
You can just listen. You can video, you can speak your, even on your cell phone, I figured out, no, on your cell phone. Yes, I figured out how to do the cell phone, so you have to click it until it's just video.
Uh-huh.
And then There's no thoughts. It took me about halfway through. But we can only speed it up on the computer here or at home. Sometimes they talk very slowly.
I'll stamp, Rob. Yep, that's it.
It's 2:10. We are in recess until
3 o'clock for an open record public hearing for a budget extension request for the opioid abatement fund.
Good afternoon, it's 3 o'clock. We have an open record public hearing. It is the budget extension for Fund 137001, the opioid settlement. Okay, do we keep going? Okay, the Grant County funds do not have adequate levels of budget for the following expenses. The invoice in the amount of $451,733.26. Budget extension is needed, and we're having that hearing. The budget appropriation, the total amount of $451,733.26 to be allocated to the 2025 budget according to the following schedule of categories and listed items.
That is the financial request form that I have here. It'll get attached to the resolution afterwards, but I can talk about it a little bit more if you'd like. We also have Mandy here to assist. It's the fiscal year 2026 invoice for the Opioid Abatement Council. We had, for the 2025 budget, we only had the fiscal year of 2025 budgeted. I had reached out to Dell just to confirm the timing of this invoice, and he said, yes, the fiscal year starts July 1st. So that invoice that we paid back in May was for 2025. They were just a little bit behind on billing. So now we just need this budget extension to cover this invoice, and then we should be good for the rest of the year until July of next year.
Okay, any questions for Caitlin or Mandy?
So on the financial year, this is shown as 2026.
Yes,
Is that because they run the July?
I believe so,
It is
yes.
in 2026, yes.
Okay.
Any other questions? No. Any comments from the audience here? Any comments from the audience that is calling in?
There are no attendees online.
I move to close the public comment portion of this hearing.
I'll second that.
There's been a motion and a second to close the public comment portion of this hearing. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 The public comment portion of this hearing is closed. Looking for a motion to approve the budget extension.
I move to approve the budget extension for the Opioid Abatement Council fiscal year 2026 for the $451,733.26 as presented today.
I'll second that.
There's been a motion and a second to approve the budget extension. Any discussion?
Just one discussion when I'm reading the resolution number 25 or whatever. I'm seeing that it's 2026 for the 451, but then to be allocated for 2025 budget. So should that say 2026 budget also?
The plan was to allocate it for this year's budget so we could pay it this year.
Okay, so we're just talking fiscal year versus our budget year.
Yes, the
Okay,
Opioid Abatement Council's fiscal year.
I'm good.
Okay, any other discussion? Okay, there's been a motion and a second discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
The budget extension has been approved.
We're off the record.